All right, everybody. Happy Friday. I got a question for you before we get the show started. What would happen if we stopped chasing money and we followed the example of our sister Traci Powell? Now, today we had a crazy day. We had, man, getting emotional talking about it, but we had our sister Traci Powell's memorial service, and we were all involved. Courtney, Jimmy, Corey, myself, all up on stage at the Met. If you don't know where the Met is in Philly. It's a major theater hall here in the city. It was a phenomenal show. But as we reflect back on the life of our sister Traci, she was all about community. So Jimmy was like, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about Traci. We got to talk about the experience. And of course, we're going to have a lot of shenanigans along the way. But the question is it better to be a community builder or a community taker? So put that question or answer that question for us in the comments. But good afternoon, gentlemen. How are y'all?
That's a wild question. First of all, how are you, good brother? But that's a wild question because nobody's going to answer it the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have really worked on a better question than that. No shade. It's just like, you could
answer the question. Answer the question. Can you answer?
You gotta be community first. You already know what I'm gonna say, man. You know what I'm saying?
But some people say FOH.
Listen, man, when words come to worst, the people come first, man. And that's just what it is. But no one's gonna, even if someone is a straight scoundrel, I doubt they'll answer that way. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a complete no good scavenger, catfish, vulture, there's no way you're gonna sit here and say the other part down.
Yo, you'll be taking it back, bro.
What's up, though, man? How are you, beloved? I ain't seen you in about an hour. I ain't seen you about an hour. How you been?
But hold on, along that vein, right? I'm thinking about the opening line to Black Girl Lost, Nas's classic song. When he's like, you talking that going back to African shit, that God body shit?
Not that white
that
stuff.
Dumb shit. Yeah, that dumb shit. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody don't see it that way. Everybody thinks
a young, wild, beautiful love child. You like them thug style.
There you go. There you go.
Go. But
I'm good, man. How are you? How are you, Corey?
Man, I lived through it, bro, because I was beat up, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, I still am. Like, just looking at her mom, and every time Courtney hugged me, I just started fucking crying like a fucking 3-year-old, bro. Like, it's for real, like, because man, and just like I said today, man, there's nothing like when a woman loves you, and it's this. I'm not even talking about transaction. I'm just talking about period, man. Man, like so, when you can feel love, when you can feel the compassion, when you can feel the just the like genuine care of, there's nothing like that, bro. Like, there's nothing like that in the world.
I think about that, right? You actually said that today during the service, and I think about that because you always say that. You're consistent in saying that. And when I have conversations with other brothers, what I realize is some brothers
never experienced that.
But here's why, right? And as men, we have this issue with discipline and then understanding boundaries and being in certain spaces and understanding how to navigate those spaces. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of us, because we think, with the other head, as the cliche says, we never get to experience actually having someone care for you, right? Where, like you said, it's non-transactional, when someone cares for you and covers you in actual genuine love. And I'm talking to a lot of brothers, I realized through a conversation, they've never had that. They're in constant hunt mode, so therefore they never had the experience of someone actually covering you and caring for you and being for lack of a better term, what's the sisters on Black Panther, the Dora Maui? Like, you've never had that, right? Because you don't know how to navigate that kind of relationship.
You don't know how to receive it. You don't know how to navigate it.
You say that, right? I agree with you, but what I also recognize is a lot of our brothers have never had that, so they can't understand what it is you're saying.
Man, I feel sorry.
Can we also keep it real? Can we also keep it real?
Of course you can.
A lot of brothers actually hate women. So there's that too.
I don't even want to talk about that.
And all right,
we can't have one conversation not talking about it all.
I mean, listen, I personally, those dudes are trash. But because of the field I'm in, I know where that trauma comes from.
That's where I was going with it. Where I was going with it, Corey, is let's take it a step further. So if they actually feel that way, why do they feel that way, right? Again, my point I always make: when we're born, everyone is born a clean slate, right? What experiences do they have from the time that they fit in the palm of your hand until they get to that point where they actually hate whoever they may hate? What kind of experiences do they have? Like, that's more to me, nurture.
Yeah, right. No, that's 100% nurture, right? I can tell you. All right, before I tell you, let's ask the question. Let me ask the question. When you have a child up to the age of 5, what is the most important factor in having your child turn out to be successful?
Two things come to mind. And again, I'm not a professional in this space. I would say it's their actual, I was going to say village or community, but what I mean by that is the environment, and the second thing is the relationship between their parents.
The relationship between their parents is a non-factor.
Okay, so what about environment and community?
That is the one factor.
Okay.
The number one factor is loving adults, caring
so
adults.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be the parents. It could be.
Doesn't have to be a parent. The number one factor is success children is caring adults.
Caring about them or caring about each other? Like, when you say
caring about the child, adults that care about that child.
So you would say more of a guardian,
huh?
You said not parent. I'm guessing you're going to say guardian.
No, I was saying it could be.
I think he's talking about an example, right? So someone that's showing them how to actually care or love.
Yeah. It can be your parents. It can be your grandmother. It could be your aunties. It could be the community around you. But the number one factor in a child succeeding is not parenting. Only makes up about 15 to 20% of what a child learns as far as what love and compassion is. It's the other adults that they contact with and how that adult comes into contact with them that helps them form a shape. Y'all been around my kids, right? Mm-hmm. Both of y'all been around my kids. Have y'all ever seen my kids angry?
No.
Let me tell you why. No, because my kids don't have a full angry bone in their body because they grew up around nothing but people that love them. And it's not me.
It's interesting,
right? Because y'all know I'm rough, right? But I make sure that every adult that comes into contact with them, I vet that adult. That goes for schools, that goes for daycares, that goes for whatever, right? When I go to look into those places, the reason why I put my kids in private school when they were young is not because the private schools were better than the public schools, because they all suck. You know why? I put them there because the environment that the children get to learn in is infinitely better.
So interesting you say that. I once read a book. It was a data science book, but it was talking about like a lot of different data points, the data of happiness. But it actually says in that book that the number one thing that factors in terms of, it kind of co-signs what you said, but it was talking about, it was really going into like, kind of how the wealth gap affects that, right? Because it was talking about environment and community and how that is the number one factor in the success of a kid. And a lot of times it's based upon, if I live in a community full of like doctors, engineers, dentists, all kinds of stuff like that, and the kid sees that every day, that has an impact on the kid. And that will help the kid succeed versus just being surrounded by people that are nefarious and undesirables, right?
Yep.
Because it's all based on environment. It said that is the number one factor in the success of a kid. But it was saying that that's very collinear with having resources, right? If you have resources, you have the ability to change environments, right? A lot of people don't have the resources to change environments. So if you find yourself in an environment where your kids aren't getting fed that way by being around people that are positive influences,
then your kids end up being emotionally stunted, which creates kids that are academically stunted because
But
they
how
don't
can
know
we say?
how.
But how can we
Listen,
say it doesn't matter about the parent because the parent's going to be the one that really
so
dictates where these environments are going to
listen,
be at?
I know people whose parents were pieces of absolute fucking garbage, but their grandmother, their aunt, their cousin, you know what I mean? Those people around them still surrounded them with love. Like I know people's parents who was straight up crack and used to steal from them and shit. Like that kind of terrible. You know what I mean? Dad was on coke, mom was on crack. Both parents, teeth fell out their mouth before they was 30. Those kind of parents. And the community turned those people into successful people until the parents could get themselves together. And I'm say this. I know that's true, right? Because my adoptive brother, his mother was on drugs. My family took him in, and my brother has turned out to be an upstanding citizen in the world, right? I have an example of that, right? My brother, to this day, has never committed a crime. Not a crime of any, he, got parking tickets and stuff like that. But I'm not talking about no, crazy crimes. But he could have it could have went all the way the other way because his step pop was abusive and his mom was on drugs because of his step pop. His got his mom hooked drugs.
But hold on. I feel like we are a little away from. I originally
No, this
said
is
there's a lot
about
of men.
community building.
No, I got you. But I said there's a lot of men who hate women.
That hate women.
Right. And then you said that the number one factor for a child, I forget what it
Well,
was.
no, that's not how we got there.
One,
How we got there was this. You said a lot of men actually hate women. And I was
That's what-
saying
and we
that
talk about
no
the
one's
trauma
born-
that leads
yeah,
to
no
that.
one is born hating anyone. I was saying that nurture part, like how do we get to the point where as a man you hate anyone, whether it's woman, man, or whatever? There's something that happens, and there's some sort of disconnect between the time that a baby is as a fresh, clean slate till we find all these men who hate women. Like what is going on in between? That's how we got to that conversation.
All right. So where of the mind, you two are the mindset that nurture is greater than nature.
It is.
Okay.
It all be.
And then,
It is
okay. So I
because
just want to make sure everybody's following. So then you said the number one factor to determine if a man hates a woman is what?
the environment that he grew up in.
Okay.
The environment that he grew up in. Like I grew up in an environment where every woman put a battery in my back. Like the reason why I succeeded at everything that I've ever done is because my mom, my grandmother, my aunties, they told me, go ahead and do it, regardless of whether I was good at it or not, until I became good at it. You
Okay,
can
so
do
then-
that.
Okay. So then you're saying that every male who hates women was modeled that behavior to hate women. Am I getting it correct?
Somebody modeled it to them.
Okay.
I'm not
All right.
saying somebody had to model it for them. And it might not have been somebody in their environment. They might have got it off of TV. They might have been sitting there watching TV and nobody was watching them and what they were watching. They might have got it off of movies. They might there's 1,000 environmental factors that have been the trigger for them hating women.
Okay.
But what I'm
By the way,
saying is,
I just want to put out there the book that I was speaking of, but it talks about the data I was talking about. It's called Algorithms to Live By, right? And it goes in, it goes into a lot of data, and it just goes into different factors that we don't think about. It talks about the idea of happiness and what the data shows about happiness, the idea of the things that we think makes children succeed versus what the data says. So it kind of goes into what data says, because a lot of times we talked about this actually earlier when we were talking about the idea that most people move off of emotions and feelings.
Yep.
Right.
Then don't use objective data. So
Objective, no data.
yeah, how about that? No data. Forget objective data, just no data. Right?
right, no data of any kind from anywhere.
Yo, by the way, I want to put this out there too, because let me see. I saw Anthony's name. It's funny. I was telling him I didn't get a Zelle, and I looked at my Zelle today. Now, here's what's weird. I got 2 different emails and 2 different Zelles, but somehow they got connected. I actually got the Zelle. I'm gonna go to it now.
Well, thank you, Anthony, for the Zell.
Thank you. We appreciate
Right.
it.
Jimmy is technology challenged.
So it's not. But here's the thing, though. It's not Bolton. It's Anthony Johnson, the other Ant that comes on. Ant sent $50.
Thank you.
For the camp. So the camp got another $50, which is definitely appreciated.
No, we appreciate everything, bro.
Yeah, listen, and we're gonna talk a lot about the camp in the next upcoming weeks because everything is set. It's definitely set. Rachel, if you're still watching, Rachel, we would love for you to come speak
on.
to the Yeah, we
pull up on us.
Pull up. You always welcome. Wherever we are, you are welcome.
Absolutely.
You are
our camp this year is the 6-man center. PYB is hosting us, so we got 5 weeks. So hopefully one of those weeks you're free. You can come speak to the baby. Now we're going to talk a lot more about that moving forward. Because tomorrow we have an event in Philadelphia, 1436 Fairmount Avenue. So we're back in the streets tomorrow doing more community. We're building with the people. It's completely free, 11 to 2. Just pull up and come kick it with us. You know what I'm saying? Kamari will buy you a drink. Speaking of Kamari,
you don't have to lie to kick it.
Speaking of Kamari's drinks, let me tell y'all something real fast, yo. Because it's family here. It's Friday. My brother, man, I love my brother Kamari to death, man. But he
you don't love me. You don't love me.
He violated man code today, so we had an event, man. You know what I'm saying? And Kamari wants to get a drink. Kamari wants to get a drink, and my man at the bar got a lemon drop. I was like, hold up,
yo,
men don't drink lemon drop.
So before we even get into the lemon drop situation, Corey, I think you and I need to have an intervention with Jimmy. We need to get him some therapy. We might need to raise money for him. Because the pastor today said, everybody grab hands, hold hands. And before me and Jimmy, because I'm in the middle, Jimmy's on my right, Corey's on my left, Courtney's somewhere else with the AKA green.
I didn't even hear
grab hands and he said pause. And I'm like, where does pause belong with prayer? Where does pause belong in prayer? And I just cracked up.
I didn't hear a word he said, but I knew exactly what he said before you even said anything.
It's not my fault, bro. I do need help. I can't stop it, but I mean, it's a natural reaction. I did do that.
Jimmy is wild.
I mean, it's the
now to the other story where Jimmy tries to slander me on a daily occasion. There's a lot of trauma here, y'all. A lot of trauma. I might need therapy after we get this run. But to the lemon drop, no, I'm gonna get to the lemon drop. Ain't no shame in my game. Too old for that. Too old for this shit, right? Can't tell me what to drink. I pay all my own bill. I buy all my own drinks. I'm not held hostage by what so-called man code is. By the way, Jimmy don't even drink, but that's a whole other thing. I'm at the bar. Hold on. I'm at the bar with my sister, Hania, who I haven't seen in a while. Didn't even know she knew Traci. That's how powerful Traci is, but we're going to get to that. I'm at the bar. She's like, yeah, one of Traci's favorite drinks was a lemon drop. And I'm like, damn, you're right. And so I brought her a drink, and I said, let's have a drink together for Traci. Not for me, for Traci. So, Jimmy, you can make fun of me all you want, sir. I'm toasted for my sister Traci, for my sister Hania.
I love how you
That's all I got. That's all. I'm telling the truth.
But let me ask you a question.
I'm telling the truth.
You couldn't have put a glass in the air that wasn't a lemon drop. You couldn't have did anything else. Like you could have let her get the lemon drop.
Why? See, I was nurtured to be insecure in my manhood. So I don't need to say pause. I don't need to worry about all them labels.
Yo, I ain't drinking no. I'm gonna just say this.
Listen, maybe you wasn't nurtured as well as I was, Corey and Jimmy. I'm cool with that.
Are you calling us toxic? You said it's toxic masculinity.
There is a thing called toxic masculinity.
Listen, if that's toxic masculinity, I'm toxic as fuck. I am not drinking no shit called no lemon drop, bro.
That's fine.
Shout out to one of my homies, Black from South Philly, man. I remember I was out with this boy, and we at the bar. He like, yo, give me your woo woo. I said, oh, what? I said, yo, I'm leaving.
What? Listen, man, woo-woos are good, man. Woo-woos are good, man.
What? See, here you go. No, I told him, I was like, bro, I don't even know what's in that drink, but should no man be ordering enough of that? No, my man. Maybe I am toxic, bro.
Please, woo. And so, you know, all right, hold on. Let's have some real rap. First one complaining, like every time they say men are being sissified or men are saying we can't do anything, Jimmy be like, damn, we can't do nothing. So now I guess we can't have a drink either, right? You know what I'm talking about.
How many drinks as you
I know
want?
what you're talking about, but you can have a drink, just not a lemon drop or a woo-woo. But hold
All
on,
right,
though.
so why not? Why not?
Listen, you can have a look. How
But
about
why
this?
not?
As
Why
a
not? Let's
bar
unpack
owner,
this drama.
Find out
Let's
the
unpack
name
this drama.
of the stuff that's in there and tell them to mix it. Like, don't call it a lemon drop. Like, that should sound crazy.
Let me say one thing too. I do want to put something out there, man, because Kamari, you talk about Kamari. Kamari be bullying me, yo. Let me tell you what Kamari told me, right?
Oh boy.
Because I don't drink, right? I don't drink. And Kamari was like, yo, man, you don't drink and you don't smoke, you boring. And I want to know, since when did we start judging boring by people that drink or smoke? Like, how does that make you boring because you don't drink or smoke?
Since when do you start judging manhood by the type of drink a man drinks? How about that?
Bible.
Let's talk about that.
They judge men by their drinking. They judge men by their drinking in the Bible.
Oh, so you're a Christian or you're Jewish or what Abrahamic religion are you following today, Jimmy?
None. I follow them all.
Okay, so then why are we pulling up the Bible then?
You asked how far back. I'm giving you some time.
I'm asking you why are you using it?
Come on, man, because I'm citing the source. You asked for a source, I gave you one.
So the Bible's full of data. You know what? Never mind. Strike that from the question. Strike that question. I don't want that smoke. I don't want that. Listen, we here to celebrate our sister Traci. The question today is it better to be a community builder versus a community hustler? All right. Do you like that better now, Jimmy?
Somewhat. I mean, although I still think, I don't know if anybody's actually going to say I'd rather be a community hustler. I don't know if anybody will cop to that. So
they is definitely not copping that plea.
I mean, there's a lot of poverty pimps out here, but
let me ask
I guess
you a question.
they not copping to that though.
Now here's the question.
Okay.
Do you believe that a lot of community hustlers think that they're community first?
I believe there's a lot of them that know they are scammers.
Here's one thing I realized through experience, right? And this is why, tying it back into, our tribute to Traci, right? Traci was such a community person, and outpouring for her today was, I've never seen anything like it. Like she
nuts.
Really, I mean, first of all, we was at the Met, y'all. And I know a lot of y'all don't understand what that means. Like we went from the Met to the Renaissance, like ballroom, like just, you could do your Googles later. But the fact is, the love she got was really about the fact that she was people, not profits. That's who she was. And what I realized through talking, and I kind of talked about this up there, like Traci was one of one, which is why this loss is so severe for us. But in talking to other people, they think that they're for the community, but they actually don't know what it means to be for the community because they were never taught or trained how to be community first. A lot of people, like, and I'm not throwing any shots at any Kamari's heroes. A lot of people feel like, look, I can go sell $1 million of drugs over here, and I can donate back 100,000, and I'm a community activist. I'm community first, right? They think that the ends justify the means, and then that's how a lot of people move. And they'll argue with you that they're community first. What did Kumo D say recently that he went viral for? Remember that clip that he went viral for?
I remember, but I don't remember what he said.
Kumo D got on the air and said that in our communities, the biggest sellouts are the drug dealers. And a lot of people who have felt offended by that, right? What their environment, all the excuses that they make. But I understood where he was coming from when he said that. So the fact is, a lot of people think that the ends justify the means. I can go do all the nefarious and all the crazy things that I want. If I give back a little bit, I'm community first. That's not what community first means. And our sister led by example. She always put people over profits, which is why the room was packed the way it was packed. And why she got so much love in the world is because it never was about the money with her. It never was. And that's one thing that I always carry with me and remember is that it was people over profit. And she never cared about any of the other stuff. Like never cared about any of that stuff. So I think that's the thing. And those are conversations that we need to have as a community, but we're not really ready to have. One of these days.
Well, I'm ready to have them, so let's have them.
One of these days we got to do a show about all the things we're not really ready to talk about, because we always say that no one ain't really ready to talk about this. And we probably got a list 50 long of things people don't want to talk about. But that's one of the conversations. It's truly about some of the things that we kind of justify and make excuses for, because we understand how environment, and I know Corey about to go off because anytime I bring this up, this is his bag. How environment impacts us. Whoa!
Right, but before we go too far, right? Let's not leave Traci out of this. We dug up some old footage. I think Jimmy dug it up, or I don't know. Somebody got it. where we were talking about what do we do with scammers in the community. And this is what Traci said.
And there's a conversation that can be said like, listen, we support you. We will make sure we put you in front of who we need to, as long as you're doing things good for the community. The moment you stop doing those and you become someone who takes advantage of or preys on the community, those protections are gone. Mm-hmm. You're for the wolves and for the streets now.
And let's be clear, right. She meant the wolves and the streets. Yes. Let's be very, very clear, because there was definitely some wolves in that building today. There was some wolves in there, man.
All I want to say is this, man. She's right. But I think that the conversation, and it's kind of what I was telling you guys earlier. I was like, what I realize is, older you get, wisdom is really about like experience and age. Like the older you get, the more wise you become, and the more you get to like see how things move and how people react. You realize that everybody wasn't raised in the environment you're raised in. Everybody doesn't have your experiences. They haven't been shown.
I'm going to disagree with that.
That's why everybody can't go.
That is not true.
Well, for me, it is. I'm speaking from lived life experience. Maybe everybody might be true. For me, it is.
I will tell you this: the vast majority of people never stop being 16.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the data says. All I know is, as I get older, I get more data, and more data helps me understand things better. Right? I have more observations.
You a person who grows every time you learn something. Every time.
So here's the thing:
you change.
All right. So
don't do that.
So in my field, right? In my field, when you calibrate a model, the more data you have, the better results you get. And I feel like my brain actually runs that way too. The more people I meet, the more I hear about their experiences and see how they have made it and the kind of person they become, the more I start to understand how human psychology is behind everything. Whether we're talking about what we generally talk about in finance, how you treat people, how you treat your kids, how you go to work. Everybody's lived life experience is different. You know, people are literally, as D Block says, living off experience. I say that because sometimes I forget that people weren't raised to have a village mindset. I forget that people weren't raised to care about their fellow human beings and their fellow community, right? They're raised like in a, for lack of a better term, in a poverty mindset where you just take.
They're raised to be wolves. They're raised to be animals.
Yes, but then the question becomes, how else were they supposed to turn out? They weren't shown the love or shown what it means to be village minded.
All right, so let's show an example. Right here.
That as well is we have to do a better job of building community. Because since we've been in this country, we've been taught a Western civilization way of living. That is not in our DNA. We barter. We do community. We use each other's strengths. We trade. We put people in position that have their strengths, and the ones that have weaknesses, we pair them up. We have to do a better job of working within our community to find folks with the strengths, with the credentials. And if they don't have the credentials and they're more blue collar, we can put them in spaces to do labor because we have expertise and excellence in labor. We have expertise in contracts and relationships. And we also have expertise in people who just know how to structure stuff. Seek those people out, put them in position to do their strengths and create better and more functional communities, because that's the only way we're going to be able to survive.
And so, Jimmy, I hear what you're saying, and I agree to a certain degree. But just a caveat off of what Traci's saying, you got to seek out those people who want to be community, because one word in community is unity. Everybody don't want to be unified. A lot of people just want to do what they want to do. They want to.
What I took from that, what you just said, is our job to build the community so people, to Corey's point, people have the ability to kind of like get within that village or within that community, right? So
I took that too.
That's what I took from it. But the thing is, though, some people, I don't want to say to quote Umar, but you can't you can't psychologize all them. Some of them got
so some of them got to be born. Leave them out in the village. Leave them out in the jungle.
Listen, I don't even listen, man. I don't even play with half the people that y'all play with, man. Some of you, like I feel like sometimes, man, like we play around too much, man. We need to just get to the nuts and bolts and the nitty gritty and just start asking the questions that need to be asked, right?
I
Because
agree with
for
that
some
too.
people, like a lot of people like to play. Like one of the
They like to
reasons
play in your
people,
face.
yeah, like one of the reasons why people either love me or hate me is because I don't have a middle ground. Either you love me or you hate me. You can't have a middle ground with me, because if we not on this, we don't bang together, we not on the same page. My whole mission in life is to do something that is going to be great for our community. If you're not on that mission with me, if you're not on that same page with me, if community and village minded, your job is to leave me alone, because I don't have a middle ground. I'm gonna take it a place where you can't go. I'm that person. So I leave. This is why I can't go everywhere with my brothers, because sometimes I have to protect myself from the energy that was going to be where we're going, right? Because I can't stop once I get started. They can keep me from getting started. This is why I go with my brothers. They can keep me from getting started, but once I start, I will not stop. There's no place low enough that I won't go. I just won't.
Because when they go high, when they go low, we go lower. Tell them, Corey.
If they go low, I'm going to hell. Like I don't have that middle ground. So either we bang together and we get things done, and we everything is all good with me, because I always start with love, and I always start with respect. But I don't have that middle ground place where most people have. I don't have it, and the reason I don't have it, the reason I don't have that place is because I don't want it. I don't want people in my life. I don't want it because people, because people like to play around in the middle ground. You know what I'm saying? Like people like to play around in the middle ground and gray areas. Either you with it or you ain't with it. Leave me alone if you ain't with it. Let's just go play over there somewhere with the people that like to play like you. Go play on the playground with them. Like, this is why, I need people around like you guys, like who have a different mindset, a different setup, right? I've realized that I have to put myself in positions where there are people like the same thing with Traci. She was good for me because she all made sure that I get my shit off, but she never let me go to the point where I got in any trouble. Like she put me like, all right, that's
we hear you, Corey.
No, yeah. So
all right.
I get it, and I get why you're saying that. It's just that, like, I guess for me, once I started to understand that some people really are just ignorant, right? And some people don't know any better. I just have a little bit of a different perspective. It's sad though, because now I start to feel sorry for people. Like, you really don't even get it. Like, you don't even get it.
But see, that right there to me takes too much energy. If you don't get it, come back when you do.
But see, I also have a different take on that as well, because some people don't get it. I agree with that. But most people don't want to get it. And so that's the thing for me. Most people are lazy, and most people don't want to change. And my thing is, leave them where they are. That's all I got.
Like, cool. All right. 100%. Okay.
But if you want to be community, if you want to build a collective, there's plenty of models, and there's plenty of ways to seek it out. That's why I felt when Traci said seek out those, like you have to actively do the work to seek out those people. And
so what about those that actually want to, but really don't know? Like, what I'm talking about is people that
present themselves that way. They will tell you. They will tell you either in their actions, or what did the gentleman say today? He said people's actions don't lie, only their mouth.
Their behaviors don't lie.
Yeah, that's what behaviors, actions, same thing.
Yep.
They only their mouth lie. Mm-hmm. Like, behaviors are who you are.
I guess what I'm saying.
Jimmy, to answer your question,
fat people eat too many calories. Go ahead.
Jimmy, to answer your question though, right? You said, what about the people who don't? So I don't want to say any names, but Jimmy referred me to a client of his that I know he helped them buy a property that they flipped. And it seems like, from what I gather, that person didn't have a whole lot of education, didn't have a whole lot in real estate, but they sought out Jimmy. He's been guiding them. They've done some deals, and they're doing more, and they trust him emphatically. So that person isn't what I'm talking about. Jimmy, I think you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do, but that's not the kind of person I'm talking about. What I'm talking
No. Hold on. But that's what I'm talking about. I didn't mean to say that, but they were one of the people who didn't know, but they said, I want to know. And they sought out somebody that was trusted, that was knowledgeable, who's done work, who's got a track record, and here we are. That's not who we're talking about.
But what I'm speaking of is I meet people who feel as though they are community first, they're community minded. And their idea of community is, how can I just take X amount of dollars and give to this thing, right? Not thinking about all the damage they do to get to those dollars to then give to the community, right? But in their head, they're thinking that I'm community minded because I give back in this way. They're misguided overall. But what I'm saying is, in their heart of hearts, they think that they're community minded. I'm not talking about people that are just straight up scammers, right? That's a difference. If you're so egregious that you know I'm scamming and I'm coming to scam you and I'm out here, I'm just Madoffing, that's a little different. I'm talking about people who are just misguided and they don't know any better. So I feel like there's a different bucket for those people than the straight up, wolves and scammers. There's a different bucket of people that just don't know what it means to be community minded. Because how can you know what it means to be community minded if you don't have an example or no one's ever poured into you to teach you that? Because, to Traci's point in that video, since we've been here, right, we were moving in this Western, we say, what the phrase she said?
Western civilization.
Yep.
Yes, right. So what I'm saying is that's how most people are taught. They don't understand what it means to be village based or community minded. No one ever teaches them this. Right. This is why when I meet people who are like that, I hold on to them and I take that stuff seriously. It's why folks like Don or folks like Liz or folks like Rachel. It's why we prop them up and we love them the way we do, is because when you meet someone who's on that, you
can feel their energy. You can look at the things that they've done.
So I think that it's a difference. There's multiple buckets. It's just not good or bad. There's other buckets of people too. Some people that may want to come out of that bucket if you teach them the right way, and some people you can't teach anything.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to another example. Traci's example tonight.
One of the things that I learned very, very, very young, and I probably learned this, and it was coined a little bit better when I was in high school, because I had a principal that kind of said this to me. And when we graduated from high school, the best way she explained it was, because of what I have implemented in you all, the relationships that I have with you all, the interactions I've had with you all, helping you with this or giving you a pen to do that, or just sitting to listen to a conversation to help you work through something that you didn't think of. I built a relationship with you and I built a connection with you. And I have to nurture that connection if I want you in my life or that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't need a lawyer. I shouldn't need an engineer. I shouldn't need a contractor. I shouldn't need a grant writer or any of those things, because all of y'all are those things. And that is the bartering system for networking, is that I have something that is of value. Because we have a connection, you can use what you have as a value to barter with me. And now we don't even need money because we can just utilize services.
What do y'all think about that?
I think she's spot on. You can't listen. You can't price on relationships. You just can't put a price on it, right? Like me and Jim used to say on our on old podcasts when we was first starting out potting, man. Like, relationships had the highest ROI. There's no higher relationship. There's no higher ROI than relationships. Right? We just did a show a couple weeks ago with the founder from Starbucks, where the board, what's the name, put him in position. William Gates put the Starbucks founder boy in position, right? The Starbucks founder out of business, totally out of business. Somebody had undercut his deal. He about to go totally out of business, and because of the relationships he had, he ends up running a multi-billion-dollar company, right? There's no higher ROI than that. You can't get a higher ROI than that, right? So what I'm saying to you is that she is 100% right. Relationship ROI is the highest ROI you can get, right? If we can be transactional with one another without being greedy, right? Because being transactional doesn't necessarily mean being, being. You don't have to use a person to be transactional, right? All of us transact all of the time. There's not a greedy bone, right? You have to be transactional without being greedy, right? If I do a service and you provide me with a service, if the service that you're providing me, I can't provide a service back, I want to pay you whatever your rate is, or even more, right? Because I support your business. And the same thing, if you're using services, right? Like a lot of people want me to, but nobody wants to pay me what my rate is. Everybody looking for the hookup, but eat off that. I can't. If I did the hookup for every black family that I did that I do tutoring for, I would never eat. My kids would, so yours can learn. So
and that's not fair.
Forget. Again, fair is not a word that I would use. If that happens, that's my fault. That's not yours, right? If I allow you to do that to me, that's not your fault. See, I'm a personal accountability person. If I allow you to do that to me, because I don't have to provide the service without you providing the service, the payment or the service back. So I never get mad at people when they try to use me, because if I allow you to use me, that's my fault, especially when I'm happy, right? So I never ever been mad at a person for using me. I've only been mad at myself. I allowed.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a bunch of people in the chat. We got some super chats in there. I want to talk about that. All right. So what's up, Jigga? All right. What up, though? Blessings, condolences, and greatness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right. Jarrell's in the building. Oh, you don't want to be on the Summer Jam screen? You worthy? You worthy? All right. Jarrell's in the building. What up, Jarrell? Go ahead, Corey.
No, I was just saying worthiness is not, man, listen, I have a higher opinion of myself than anyone in the world. I ain't worried about worthiness.
So then what's wrong being on the Summer Jam screen?
Because I didn't want to be there, bro. I just said that wasn't nothing to do
I want you there, though. I want you there. All right. But
Jarrell, what is irrelevant to this conversation because I didn't want to be there.
Ooh, using big words. All right. Jarrell says it's a community talk. Take her like a Lex, I don't know, Lex of society or leech of society, or like a dude who takes over someone's takes over someone's community. That's a great question. Great question. All right. What up, by the way, and condolences again, you guys. Thank you, Jarrell. We'll definitely come back to that.
Thanks, Jarrell. I appreciate you, bro.
Don Johnson is in the building. What up, Don? Condolences, he says. Thank you for that, Don. Appreciate you. All right, may the Most High and Philly community be pleased with Sister Traci. Thank you, Jigga.
Thank you.
Ray Gunn, thank you for the super chat. Blessings to you all.
Always appreciate you,
Ray.
And my condolences. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that. Brittany, what up, Brittany? Good evening to you as well.
What it is, though.
All right. All right, we got a superstar in the chat, y'all. Y'all see this? Best-selling author. What up, Rachel? All right, love you guys. Sending hugs today. Love you too.
Love you too, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
And we serious. We need you to pull up for the camp. Camp starts July 5th. Every Saturday in the month of July. Every Saturday in the month of July. All right. And she says she agrees. All right. What up, Anthony? Says salutes to everybody.
Salute.
And Simone, what up? Welcome. All right, say it again. Regan, can't lie. My ex had me in the club drinking lemon drops. So I understand. So see, Jimmy, he ain't never had a young tender take him to the club and get him some lemon drops.
He was doing it all for the nookie.
Hey, ain't everything all for the nookie with me? What up, LaJoy?
No, I can't answer that, bro. That's that thing.
Jimmy, every episode you talk about Nookie in some way, shape, or
No,
form.
don't do
Yes,
that.
you do. Don't lie to
what
the
you're
people.
Don't do what you're trying to do right now.
Corey, didn't he say he
You're
was somewhere trying
deflecting
to
right
get some
now.
sticky?
You are deflecting. Get back
Didn't he
to the
say he was
comments.
trying to get some sticky?
You are
All right,
deflecting.
Don gave me the Rainbow Coalition for the drinks. Yo, Jose, where you been?
Jose!
It was really good, Jose. Glad to see you back, bro.
I sent Jose a message about a couple weeks ago, just checking on him, man. Jose's the bro, man.
Yes, he is. And he said lemon drops ain't that bad, though. Tell him, Jose. Tell him. Jimmy don't know what he's talking about. Mark Smalls is in the building. What up, Mark? Now, Mark just stunned it on us. He says, greetings from DR. For those who don't know what DR means, it does not mean doctor. It means Dominican Republic. Continue to rest well, Tracy.
Yeah, man.
Mark out there in the villa or something. He living life.
Okay, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful, bro.
He all right. He on the resort, man. He chilling.
Have fun. I'm just,
he chilling, sitting on about $500,000 with all my ones.
He said the Lord turned water into lemon drops.
Lord turned the water into lemon drops. Thank you, Don. Lord have mercy. All right, Jose says sometimes that blend into the same person. They may begin with building, but end up scamming. Personally, it's best to be a community builder. All right, straight answer. My man. Anthony says, I would rather be community builder in a suburb hustler. All right, whoa. I didn't see this. Shout out to Dave.
Diamond Dave.
David Williams, retail trader.
Thank you for
the super chat, sir. And David says, condolences to her family. Stay blessed and prayed up. Absolutely. Thank you. Whoa, Liz is in the building. What up, Liz?
Hey,
Liz, it was wonderful to see you today. It was a privilege to see you today, and I hope to see you more real soon.
Listen, man, Liz is up there actually preaching, literally preaching the word. I told you.
I tried to get Liz to make a promise today. She told me 4 weeks. She was supposed to tell me 4 weeks, but I appreciate that. You know what I mean? She was just like, at 4 weeks, I can't make you no promises, but I'm gonna try. I appreciate kind of honesty.
You gonna listen to public before she know it, man.
All right, Don Johnson says an elder had to speak life into Detroit Red so he could become El Hajj Malik El Shabazz.
Don, you know what, Don?
That is a fact. I want to
add something to that because I think that's an excellent point. This is why I try not to be too judgmental and I try not to just throw people away. And I understand some people should be thrown away for good, but what I'm saying is, so Malcolm is such an interesting case study because I think about in 2025 the way we treat people, right? We just so quick to throw someone away, and it's like he doesn't get the chance to become El Hajj Malik El Shabazz if he doesn't go through that journey. Some of these young brothers and sisters are still going through their journey. They're still learning. They're still progressing. They're still getting older. Now, I know Kamari's going to come back with some of them ain't never going to become, and I get that.
What about
the ones that have the ability to just lead? What about the ones that have the pedigree? Well, so some will say that Malcolm didn't have the pedigree.
Malcolm absolutely had the pedigree.
I know what you're going to say. His parents, blah blah blah. But what
that's
I'm saying,
right. No, blah blah blah. Don't just smooth over that.
No, but if that elder, if he didn't have someone speak life into him and change his worldview, we don't have, the figure that's actually sitting there behind me. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that if there's not that elder to do that. We got to be careful, man.
We could also say we wouldn't have that if his parents weren't Garveyites also. So let's be clear. Malcolm was a victim of white supremacy. His father was murdered. His mother was institutionalized. That was all products of white supremacy.
Understood. But what I'm saying is he had to be brought into the life, right? So all I'm saying is there's some young brothers out there too who come from quality families who may be dealing with whatever they're dealing with. You can't just judge a book by its cover. You can't just throw people away. That's the only point I'm making.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's why I like Don's point. Don says an elder had to speak life, and this is absolutely true.
I agree with that.
And a lot of times, we judge these young folks, and we call them all crazy. They
some of them, but some of them don't want to be talked to either.
It's some of them, and guess what?
He was open.
Nothing but a hug.
No, Now he's using my terminology, but yeah, I agree.
I'm using your
with that.
terminology for
You've
a
heard me
reason.
say that. You've heard me say that a million times.
I
More
know
of our
that.
kids need hugs. Listen, I stand on that. More of our kids need more hugs and ass whoopings. I stand on that all day long. All day long. All right. Michael Anthony, welcome back. I see you still looking at them penny stocks. Fed has over 1 million shares trading at 81 cents in after hours. All right. Rock out. Dr. Chastity, how are you?
What's going on, doctor?
What's up, Chaz?
All right, Anthony says condolences to everyone that Traci impacted. She impacted a lot, y'all.
Yes, you did.
Impacted a lot. And so the theater we were at, as Jimmy brought up earlier, is the Met Theater. People like Meek Mills has performed there. Wallow Gilly have performed there. What's my man? Trevor Noah has performed there. A lot of Boys the Men. A lot of household name brands that performed in that theater. And it was a wonderful service. It was a wonderful service.
Yeah, she did that.
All right. Don't you put that WCB on. Listen, I don't have to. So today, I'm not going to show you what Jimmy wanted to talk about today because we couldn't because of our sister Traci.
This brother right
But
here,
it was definitely down the WCP lines.
How
Am I lying? Am I lying? Listen, I'll answer the question, Jimmy. Am I lying?
Tomorrow, you a snitch, man.
I am a snitch. I ain't got no problem with it.
Here's
I'm
how
a
I'm going
truth
to
teller.
respond to that defamation right there. What I want to say is this. I'm going to say I'm enjoying my tasty beverage in my supplement bottle. Supplement makes the best bottles on the market by far, right? This is a black-owned company. Get your bottle at getsupplement.com. Please support our sponsor because Get Supplement sponsors the Black Wealth Rebels, and we appreciate all of their support. Go to getsupplement.com. By the way, we're going to be giving away a brand new supplement bottle at the event tomorrow, so you can get one to come fresh out the box. You know what I'm saying? If you show up at the event, because we're doing some giveaways tomorrow. And one of the things we're giving away is a brand new supplement bottle. We got some Black Fortune books. We got some Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So it's the event tomorrow is going to be phenomenal. Pull up 11 to 2, but also go to getsupplement.com and make sure you cup up the bottle. That's how I'm going to respond to your slander. It's by taking a sip out of my Get Supplement bottle.
Sounds very fake newsy, Don Trumpy.
You are just defending me right now.
You said it sounds very fake newsy.
That's what he did. He didn't answer the question.
I'm gonna let you ride because I know that you're going off lemon drops right now. I
am. They were delicious.
You had too many lemon drops.
They were tasty and delicious.
You had too many lemon drops.
Going off drops though. Whoa, easy.
Wait till I show y'all what he did next week. We said we were gonna put it off for a week. And he's laughing because he know I'm telling the truth.
I'm laughing because you're slanderous, bro.
Because I'm telling the truth. All right. Never had a lemon drop before, but if a Tom Collins is considered a feminine drink, then I don't care. Boom. I'm drinking them forever.
I don't know what a Tom Collins is. It don't sound like lemon drop though. It don't sound as zesty as lemon drop. Lemon drop sound like something Cat Williams
I don't care if you call me zesty. I don't care what my man is. I don't care if you call me zesty.
All right, it's all good.
I was nurtured to be a real man. Not a fake man who cares about names. Listen, Jimmy, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt me. OCL Sportsman, how are you? Good evening. So sorry for your loss. My thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to her family, friends, and loved ones. Thank you for that, OCL. All right, Jimmy, I know you was about to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm in just just reading the comments, enjoying everything. What up, Thunder? What's good?
What up, Thunder?
So listen, tomorrow, good folks, for those that are in the area, pull up 11 to 2. We have a live event in the community. Again, Black Wealth Rebels is a community-based organization. Everything we do is community-based.
I just walked in and I hear Jimmy, of course, saying something was zesty.
Thunder. Kamari spent all day drinking lemon drops. I was just making a comment on the fact that his drink of choice is a little,
Yo.
So listen.
He went to the bar and said, "Give me one of them Carl Anthony Towns drinks." I'm sorry, what's that?
Listen. Don't be mad because all you drink is Diet Coke and grenadine. I drink real drinks.
First
Now,
off,
if
Why
you
they
like,
gotta be
if you like,
Anthony
if
Towns,
you,
bro?
if you like, I'll take you out and buy you a drink.
no,
On
so
me.
no.
By the way, Corey, I got to tell you this. Jimmy got me yesterday.
Pause.
I'm not saying pause that.
It sounded crazy.
He beat me to the bill. It looks like he told the ball before I even saw it. He did it smooth.
Shout out to our sister Liz. We went to lunch yesterday, me, Liz, and Kamari after. By the way, that's another point. So yesterday, talk about Traci being a legend. Yesterday, Philadelphia City Council, right, honored our sister. And we got a chance to go before council and speak about the impact on the council floor, which was dope. I'm gonna drop that footage, soon. I'm probably just gonna put it on my page. I'll share it with you guys. I'll make sure I, tag Kamari and Corey Pauls. But so after we left there, we went to lunch or what have you. So I got him good. We went to eat at the W Core, and I got him good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's 2 in a row. By the way, I'm on a streak right now.
Is it really?
Yes, 2 in a row. 2 in a row, bro.
Do you have receipts?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right.
You'll get them next year.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
That's trying to write them dinners off. But I got 2 in a row nonetheless. I got 2 in a row. That's 2 straight.
Listen, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't have the social battery to do all of the stuff, man.
I get it.
I would have loved to have been there.
Do what you can.
As you can see how emotional I was today. I would not have, like, I just can't. I couldn't do all of the I don't like y'all emotionally stronger than I am because I couldn't.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, bro.
I totally disagree with that. Yeah, I agree with you.
You got to do what you're able to do, but you also got to take care of yourself, man. You got to take care of yourself. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's the thing is, we a family, we a team. So us being there is you being there anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
And for the record, in all seriousness, Jimmy, Courtney, and Corey bodied it today when we did our presentation because
I think
can I finish? The family and friends who organized this asked us to speak on Traci's behalf. They absolutely bodied it.
How you gonna leave yourself off of that though?
Because I don't feel I bodied it. I always tell the truth. I'm a truth teller.
You cool.
Listen, what did Malcolm say? I'm only here for the truth.
No, no. Everybody did well, man. Like y'all definitely buy. I think Courtney cooked us all though, because
I give you and no shades of Courtney, but she's not here, so. But I give it to you and Corey. Absolutely.
Courtney in these streets right now, dog.
Yeah.
But
she have a funky good time.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's funny because I was watching the game tape back of the council hearings, and I was like, everybody did well in that joint. That was dope. I'm gonna put that. I might just drop it tonight. Like if I can go, cut it up real fast, man. Like while I'm in my emotional bag, I might put it up. But I got the footage. I got the tape.
The one thing I can say about us, and the reason why we were able to celebrate our sisters so much, is we get the footage of every damn thing, like everything. Like there's not a time where we go out with click. There's not a time where we got all the footage. Like the reason why we're able to celebrate our sister the way we are is because we thought we have her forever, but when we don't have her, we still have her because we have all of the times, and it's all documented. Like a lot of people could say what they did and how they did, but it's all documented.
Look at Kamari showing himself speak on the council floor. Look at him.
What? It's a little backdrop. And listen, I thought I sucked yesterday too, but shout out to my man Ernest over at PABJ. Jimmy's behind me. Right?
Look at the talent. Look at the talent.
He's a talent. Yep. So this is the work. And so we went and we stood and spoke for Traci. This wasn't about nothing else because normally that was my first time at council. I know a lot of people in that room. I don't be wanting to come outside, y'all. I tell you, I don't be wanting to come outside.
Look at the talent. Look at the talent making his way to the microphone.
And Jimmy is referring to himself as the talent, y'all. Everybody else is an underling. We are all in District 12. We are all in District 12, according to him.
No. See, now you're going too far. See,
you don't believe in you. Who gonna?
Wait a minute. How am I going too far?
No.
Now, let's be clear.
Everybody's in District 12, according to me. Everybody, really?
Listen. We have the receipts, as Corey said. We have the receipts. I have flown with Jimmy. I was, according to him, in District 12. He was in first class because I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money
you were in the back of the plane, like
way back.
Did they feed y'all back there?
I was listening.
Damn, yo.
I was looking for Rosa Parks, man.
Yeah,
I was that far.
Listen, I only sit up the front because I'm representing for Claudette Colvin. That's why I do it.
Okay.
Listen, I fly out Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? 1A. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm honoring Claudette Colvin. I honor the elder as I do this, man, because she fought for me to have the ability to do that.
I show you how to do this, son.
So Dimitri says, "Hey Dimitri, by the way, sending my condolences. What a wonderful way to honor Traci. This took me back to the many Sunday night COVID conversations. Speaking of that, I'm putting a petition in. I think we're going to change our name back to the Blackwell Project to honor Traci, because that's where it all started. Traci was there at the beginning. It's like Boys the Men in BBD. The Black Wealth Rebels is BBD.
Boys the Men in BBD. You mean New Edition?
I'm sorry, New Edition. Yes, I'm messing it up. Thank you.
But
I want to go back home, man. I want to go back home.
Hey, listen, man. Whatever you want to do. The fact I told Kamari earlier, I was like, you buy the hood, Black Wealth Rebels, Black Wealth Pride. It's all the same thing as us, right? So at the end of the day gonna end. We gonna be us. It is what it is.
Well, I would be interested. What do y'all think? Should we stay the Black Wealth Rebels, or should we go and change back to the Black Wealth Project?
Now, I do have something else. I'm not going to put it out there now, but we are working on some ways that are going to honor Traci from this point forward, and that are going to be very impactful. And I can't wait to announce what those will be. We'll save those for a later date, but we are definitely working on some things. And everything is community-based, right? Because that's what she was about. That's how she lived. That's how she navigated the world. She lived her raps. So,
Yes, she did. All right, Thunder says, there was a grown man when I was introduced to him at work, told me his name was Hershey. I'm not calling another grown-ass man Hershey under no circumstance. So you're not going to call another grown man Delicious?
Absolutely the hell not. And what does your mama name you? And if she named you that, what's your nickname? What's your, like...
All right, Anthony says, Kamari, I'm cool with you drinking lemon drops, but please don't say a tasty like that again.
You definitely said that. You was like,
it was a tasty beverage.
Come on, dog. Come on.
All right, whatever, Nikia. Welcome.
Yes, what's good, Yes?
What's going on, Nick?
All right, Thunder says, question. What would you say to a young person who graduated from college but is hesitant to enter their field of study? I would say do it. I would say get an internship. I would say, yeah. Well, I feel like something's just missing from that, Thunder. If they went to school for it, why are they hesitant? What are they afraid of?
Like, because my thing is, if you went to school for it and you figured during that 4 years that, or more than 4 years, or whatever, that you don't want to do that.
Here's what I do. I give them a question. What is your plan? Bottom line, right?
So what I would do is give them a plan and then some encouragement, right? Because the plan could be whatever, what Kamari just said, spend some time in the field, and if you really don't like it, get off of it, right?
No, I want to know what is your plan? Have them tell you what is their plan. Like, if you don't want to go into your field, what is your plan then? What is your plan?
The other thing I would say is that most adults don't work in the field that they got their degree.
That's a fact.
So the plan could just be.
Kamari, what's your degree in?
My degree is in finance.
Corey, what's your degree in?
The administration of human services.
And my degree is in real estate. Sounds like all three of us work in our field.
We do.
All three
you cherry picking. You know the data. You know the data does not show that.
I'm talking about us
shows
three.
what
I was using a sample. The sample is us three.
The small sample size says
definitely a small sample size. Listen, I want to send a specific shout out to our brother Yance, who's in the comment. Because I'm gonna tell you, Yance be keeping me abreast of a lot of the El Recheto, the niggaverse memes on Instagram. So I appreciate you, Yance. I just want you to know that.
All right, did they feed y'all back there as diabolical? I'm not
Yeah,
sure what that's.
I was asking a question. I don't know what's going on back there. Like,
Jimmy is a yo. That's a
I'm,
mutant power,
I,
buddy.
I heard it's like double dragon back there. It's like fights and sticks and all kinds of stuff. I don't
back
know.
where? All right, I'm listening.
Yo,
Back where?
Jimmy took his all the way back. He said it's like double dragon. Yo, yo, Jimmy Contra back there. Ninja Gaiden.
All right, Thunder says, look at the prophets of profit at the council meeting. Right on, brothers. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to rep. Got to rep.
All right. I don't know what you're talking about, though, so I'm lost in the sauce. We'll talk
No, he's talking about where you be at on the plane, though. You be in the back.
Yeah.
Where all the nefarious things happen.
Yeah, especially if you want a cheap airline, but okay. All right, Jarrell says, I will support either way. Your knowledge is way more important than your name.
There you go. Appreciate you, Jarrell. Jarrell, listen, man, Jarrell's a member of the village. We definitely appreciate it. Side note, if you're not in the village yet, what are you waiting for? The village is absolutely free. BlackWealthRebels.com. If you're in the paid tier, you get more. But BlackWealthRebels.com, please make sure you join the village. At least tell us it was a moonshine.
Jimmy, do you know what moonshine is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, so, Dawn, the island's hopper. What's up, Dawn?
Yeah. So Dawn says, hey, family, it's been a long time. Yes, it has. How y'all doing in these tariff times?
Hey, listen, man.
These portfolios.
I'll tell you tomorrow because I hear a lot of noise make their way on Philly tomorrow.
When I start my GoFundMe tomorrow, I need y'all to donate. That's how I'm doing in these tariffs. I'm going to start me a GoFundMe tomorrow. These tariff times, my portfolio to pieces.
All right, Thunder says maybe they have the fear of success. Some folks get nervous about success. What if they can't handle it and lose it all? I mean, I do think a lot of people self-sabotage themselves for whatever reason.
You know why? Because
you didn't have to add themselves into that sentence. You said self-sabotage themselves. That was too many selves. Like from it, I'm just telling you the proper grammar. I just want to make sure I
understood what he was trying to say, man.
I'm sorry.
Let's not be that way.
No, I was trying to help him out.
You weren't. That was a shot. That was definitely a. I gotta tell you when you taking shots. That was a shot.
Bro. Not a shot. Kamari told me on air what Kamari said. Wait, look at him trying to jump off the line. He told me, he said, if I make a mistake, let me know. He said that's true love. True love is when I help him so he doesn't do it again.
Well, I didn't say true love. Bro. I didn't say true love, but go ahead. Let me. I'm gonna drink my tea.
What did you say then? What was your exact quote? That's what I want to know. If you didn't say that.
Listen, I'm listening to Corey correct his other Central grad because I'm not qualified to have this conversation because I only went to high school.
That was a definite shot. But anyway,
I'm sorry. Let's talk about self-sabotaging themselves. Come on, let's go.
So, self-sabotage is more than self-sabotage, right? Because it's a live life experience, right? The vast majority of us fail a lot more than we succeed, and then when we have success, since we've never been there before, we don't know how to handle it, right? That's why so many people who win the lottery go broke. That's why so many people who have success after years and years and years of failing at anything generally go back to so I was in the Army, and my Army drill sergeant told us this on the first day. He said people don't go back to their highest level of training. They go back to, people don't go perform at their highest level of training. They perform at the highest level they've trained at. And the difference between their highest level of training and the highest level they've trained at is what they do consistently, right? Their highest level of training, if they haven't done that consistency, that's not where they're going to perform at consistently, right? So that's why people a lot more than they succeed, because people operate at their highest level of training, not at level that they're, that they operate at the highest, right? Like that's like, if you look at an athlete, right? The reason why Michael Jordan is referred to at the greatest is because he performed at his highest level that he trained at because he trained at the highest level, right? If a sports analogy, right? A lot of reason why people don't succeed at the highest level is because they don't train at the highest level. They haven't been trained to succeed.
Oh, okay, Dawn. All right, so I think this is important. Dawn says, I have literally been in therapy for self-sabotage. Because listen, I still have been I should have been a bazillionaire by now. Therapists and I hit down to my inner fear of rejection from my family. Wow. Now that's deep. And thank you for being transparent with us with that. Yes,
and also congratulations on
doing the work. Yes.
Doing the work. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Love when people do the work.
I don't know what an ice pick is,
listen, man, black bottles forever, white bottles never. That's all,
Listen, black businesses forever, no matter what color they produce. So
hey, by the way, if you come out to the event tomorrow, the bottle that I'm giving away is the black bottle.
You hear that, Corey? Is the bottle I'm giving away is the my bad.
It's the black bottle. It's the black bottle because I refuse to buy a vanilla bottle like some folks. I got the black bottle. For those that come out tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll bring you some Bitcoin stickers too. If you want to, live that life.
No, I don't need all that. That's too much. I like to keep it simple. But I want to show everybody a real simple way that we can all be community minded. So this is something that Jimmy showed us again. A middle school in Dallas started a breakfast with dads program, but many fathers couldn't attend. And some students didn't have father figures at all. The school posted on Facebook asking for 50 volunteers. 600 men showed up from all walks of life. And these are some of the men that showed up. And I think this is absolutely beautiful.
That is the most beautiful thing that I may have ever seen in my life.
But this is about being community minded. This is being community minded. They just showed up.
Just because they could.
Yep. No, listen. What I want to say is like showing up, right? Showing up is, man, it's so much about showing up, bro. And it's funny. I was having this conversation with a younger member of my family. He's a new father, and he's in his 20s or whatever. And we were just having a conversation about just being present, right? Because he's so worried about, I forgot the old saying, like presence over presence. He's so worried about like not being able to have certain presence. I was like, but your presence, is what really matters. Just showing up. Just showing up means a lot. My favorite uncle, right? I was thinking about this. He's been in my life my entire life. And there isn't one achievement or one bad part of my life that he hasn't been around for. I can't tell you anything that he's ever given me in terms of something, that has monetary value. And I'm pretty sure he has, but I can't think of anything. But what I do know is he's always been there. And that to me is more important than anything he could have ever given me. So I say that to say, to Kamari's point, like there's ways that all of us can be great. The Dr. King quote again, we all can be great because we all can serve. So just showing up for your community, for your family, or whatever is super important. So that story is dope, but that is a way that all of us can be community minded. It's just about being there, figuring out where you can just go give back. And it doesn't necessarily have to come out of your pocket. Some people ain't got it. That's cool, but it's something you can do.
You can always give part of your time, part of your talent, or part of your treasure. It's that easy, right? Time, couple hours, couple minutes, every week, every day. That it all adds up.
Yes.
Of your treasure, meaning what are your skills? What talents do you have? Are you a carpenter? Are you an electrician? Can you go volunteer and help an old lady out in your community? I mean, we have to be creative and think about those things, right? And if you do have money, where can that money go best served, or at least goodly served? Goodly is a word I just made up.
Even as we have our camp this year, if we got folks that locally that want to pull up, maybe you ain't got no money, but maybe you want to volunteer your time, do that.
Facts. All right, so I'm getting an education today, y'all. Ice pick equals vodka tea. All right, I can get down with that. All right, Keith Sanders, welcome. Keith says, peace and blessings, beloved. My condolences. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
All right, I know we got a couple more. All right, Dawn says, this was so dope. I read that article. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. All right, Thunder says, that's
Speaking
awesome.
of articles, There was an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer today. Did you guys see it?
Yesterday, the one, right? Or there was another one.
Well, it dropped. They dropped it last night on a digital, but it's actually in the physical paper today.
Okay, hold on. I actually have a subscription, so I can look at that.
Look at you.
If I could
Subscription
just
to the
type.
Inquirer.
Listen, they're dying. They are dying, but that's
They
all.
email me every day. Like, get a full year for 64 cents. And I still won't get it because
Well, they actually do it. Never mind. I don't want to.
Shout out to the Philadelphia Tribune because there's an article there too. But shout out to them, man.
Yeah, but before that, let me just show this real quick. Jimmy always says I'm slandering him, but
You do.
definitely want to give. I don't, man. I just do nothing but show you love.
Straight defamation, man.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Come on now. Stop it. Philly's Fatherhood Summer Camp teaches children about finances, budgeting, and real estate investing. So this article is from
shout out to the Inquirer, man.
July 9th, 2022. Yeah, but it's still dope. Y'all got in the major and the newspaper Record of Philadelphia. That's awesome.
Yes, we did.
That
Yes, we
was
did.
awesome.
The business section. We're using the front page of the business section too.
Front
And
page.
by the way, you see the kids right there in the couch that was taking our class.
Those was on Mark Smalls.
That's Mark Smalls. That's Mark Smalls' kids.
Those are Mark Smalls' children.
Yep.
So when we tell you when we out in our community, we bang with the people in our community and they bang with us, that's what we talking about. They love us enough to send us their children. There's no higher level of love that you can show to somebody than to send them your children.
Kamari, if you're looking for the article, you can just literally just go to my page. I posted it on my page. You know what I'm saying?
But why go to your page, Jimmy?
Because give me some clicks. Facebook.com/JW the Blueprint. You know what I'm saying? It's my page.
Come on, man. You're doing too much.
See, more defamation.
I was already there. I was already there, sir. It's okay. It's all right. There we go. Traci Powell, owner and broker of Real Group, Purpose, and Black Business Advocate, has died at 44.
Yeah, it's tough. But the Inquirer, though. Or people, I know Cora hasn't seen the article yet, but look how crazy it is. Like in terms of how everything is like just full circle. This article is beautiful, by the way. They did it.
Actually, I did see this article.
And so then it says clients praised her real estate market knowledge, and one said her patience with me was beyond that of a realtor, but more resembling a friend. So yeah, this isn't random. Everybody said that about her. I lived it. I experienced it. She had a lot of patience with me.
I've seen.
I'll tell you this.
I've seen. Yeah, I'm about to say. I've seen Traci cuss your ass out.
Listen, but she did it so gently. Right?
She did. and that's what I loved about her. She cussed my ass out too, but it never was like it was so classy that it didn't even feel like she was beheading you without you didn't feel it when your head came off your body. Like she was just so precise, and you know what I mean? Like you was catching it, but you didn't really feel like it was done with so much love that you didn't even feel like, it don't even feel like a scolding, even though that's what it was.
That's what it was. And yes, I've gotten many of those. Many.
This article, scroll down a little bit. I'm gonna get some more highlights to the article.
Okay.
Personable, energetic, innovative. Like it's crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah. 44, man. 44.
Right there. It says she was selected by voters in April as the #1 real estate broker in the Inquirer's Philly Favorites advertising supplement.
Now, one thing Jimmy didn't mention, right, but he did mention that at the service, is that Traci and Jimmy were so thorough. They got closings the day of her memorial.
Yeah, we definitely we had a closing. We closed on the property today. While I was at the service, I got the text that everything closed, and I'm like, "Yo, this is so apropos that a deal we were working on together. Like we literally got it to the table at her memorial service. She still is getting money Yeah, she's amazing, bro. Go back to that article though, real fast, Kamari, because I don't think people like understand like how big of an accomplishment that part is. She was she was selected as the #1 real estate broker in Philly, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
That like, and you have to understand how many real estate brokers are in Philly.
A lot, a whole lot.
Like for that to like, you have to understand the sheer number of real
You
estate
get tripping,
brokers.
fall on 10 of them.
Yeah. So for her to be #1, like that's crazy. It's not crazy because I understand who she is, but you know what I mean. Like the accomplishment is crazy. Like,
another thing interesting about this video, it says, she talked about in a recent video interview. That video interview was me and Corey talking to her.
No, that video interview, that was Dan the Man.
No, I'm talking about our videos in here.
Oh, okay, because I saw this one.
You see the click on the hyperlink that says video interview.
So then I need to go back through. So that means I haven't looked at all of these. Yeah, right here.
It's literally right in the middle of the page. That's Body Hood right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My bad.
They put our jaw right in the middle. Yo,
I was like, when we say we got all the footage, bro, we mean all of it.
yeah. That was her talking to me and Corey. Me and her and Corey was chopping it up on
At
the joint.
Olive Garden, we're all about more craveable classics and more made from scratch sauces.
So poor.
What's that?
Nothing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm disgusted by your ads. That's all.
By my ads. Listen, everybody gets ads, man. What do you want to do?
I haven't gotten an ad in 10 years. What are you talking about? Everybody don't get ads.
Okay. That's a lie, but okay.
I haven't got an ad. I haven't got an ad on YouTube literally in ages, man. It's two ways. First of all, you can use a Brave browser. That's one way. Another way is
a what browser?
A different browser. Brave.
Oh, a different browser. Oh, what kind of browser is that? Is that a bootleg browser?
No, it's not a bootleg, man. It's a browser that pays you and
actually pays you to use it.
See y'all be hoarding stuff. Y'all never told me I can get paid with Bitcoin.
We've been telling people about Brave
you ain't told me that. And I told Jimmy today to his face, to his FACE, his face, that I ain't got time to be doing this stuff. He should be doing it for me. That's all I got to say.
You want me to do it for you. I'm trying to teach you how to fish, beloved.
Okay, all right.
What with your disgusting ass, bro?
What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the Body Hood podcast or webcast, because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy, and as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to all of our supporters, because everything's growing. Our merch is flying off the shelves. Our courses. So we just want to say thank you, because we appreciate all the support. And anytime you guys support us, it helps us do the work that we do in the community. Because we.
So I was trying to listen to the big head dude on the stage, but the big head dude in front of me keep talking. What we talking about?
Listen, man. No, I'm trying to get you to scroll through. I see you.
Where you want me to scroll through? Listen, I was trying to give you your love, man.
I was trying to see clips of Traci, but I see what you're doing, man. You want to see the talent at work. I get it. Listen, I get it.
Y'all see what I deal with, man. I gotta deal with this shit all day long.
By the way, Dawn said, I think he told us about Brave 2 years ago. Yeah, Dawn, it's probably been longer than that.
He selectively tells me stuff.
Man.
But it's all good. It's all good. It's okay.
Come on.
So
man.
Do you have a particular spot you would like me to go to, Jimmy?
I was really just showing you that they do our video in the joint, but and by the way, shout out to our brother Malik. He was in the building today. That's my West African brother. Yo, Malik is tapped in with West Africa, bro. I don't know if you've been following his content. Like, he don't even post about real estate anymore. All he posts about is West Africa. So I'm just waiting for the day he says I'm out of here. I'm living in West Africa now. Malik, where you moving to?
Malik living next to Khalees.
Hold on, Malik want to come on. Malik want to come on. All right, hold on, Malik.
Man, that's our brother.
I got you. Hold on. Matter of fact, Malik.
While Kamari sends him the link, pause. I'm gonna go back to some of these comments.
I'm gonna just put it.
John, what's up, John?
Malik, I'm gonna just put it in the chat.
That's huge. Pause. But listen though.
Now.
Are y'all familiar with Jonathan Leonard?
Now, if somebody else wants to come in, y'all need to announce that now. Announce it now. But there you go, Malik. Come on in, brother. That should be popping up on the screen in 1 second.
Yo, I'm reading about this boy now. Like, he doing good work. I don't know him though. Jamil, I don't know him. That's crazy. Dante Leonard. Somebody, he gotta know somebody I know. Let's see. This is where Philadelphia is kind of like a small big city. So if I don't know
the
him,
biggest small city in the world.
I know somebody that know him. Let's see. I'm going on this page to see executive. But I'm not familiar with him though. To be honest with you, I didn't see any of that stuff. So let's see. Looks like he's doing dope work though. You ever heard of this brother? Kamari?
Dante Leonard?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
And that's crazy because Kamari is the mayor. So.
Oh God. While that may sound like,
but Kamari is the actual mayor.
Listen, can I get the paycheck? Just give me the paycheck.
Y'all should have saw Kamari work in the room today. I was like, yo, my man is straight alderman. He in alderman mode.
First of all,
we're not arguing though. I don't argue with the bro. He slanders me, and I just defend myself. There's no arguments.
What's up, Jay Slum? Yeah, we do act like an old couple, but Jimmy's about to say pause. So go ahead, Jimmy, get it out your system.
Oh, Jamil said that's the homie. Okay. Yeah, the Khalees video they did was dope. The Khalees video they did was dope. Yeah, I know. I've been watching Malik's content. Malik is all about West Africa right now, man. He on his way.
As he should be. As he should be.
Shout out to all my family in Burkina Faso, man.
Where your flag at, man?
I got my flag's in my office. I got one here too. Where is my flag that was in here?
Yeah, come on, man. You frauding, man.
No, I think
fly that flag. Fly your flag.
I think my cleaning lady might have moved it.
Did he say he thinks his cleaning lady might do? That's tough, man. The boy lives in the rich.
I'm being honest, bro. I got a cleaning lady.
I'm not gonna lie. I got a cleaning lady too, bro.
I will, man. Tell me how to do that. How much money I need to do that?
First off, shout out to Callie and Kahan, right? Because Callie and Kahan, who are members of the village, right?
Shout out to Callie and Kahan.
They got a company, 3K Cleaning Services, and I use their service. So here it is right here, though, man. I got the flag right here, beloved. You know what I'm saying? This is where my family is from, right?
Malik said text them the link because he can't see it on the screen.
Here we go.
Right.
I'm flying flag for you, Kamar. You see my homeland right here, man.
All right, good. Malik, I'll text it to you in a minute.
We gotta protect Captain Ibrahim.
Give me 1 second, but check this out while I send Malik the link.
For this 5 minutes, I want to bring our attention to Africa, specifically the country of Burkina Faso, and the rise of a Pan-Africanist movement and an African leader by the name of Ibrahim Traore. He's currently the youngest leader on the continent at the age of 35. The young African leader, who's been in power since 2022, is now partnering with former French colonial countries, namely Mali and Niger, to create what is called the Alliance of Sahel States. This work echoes the work of a person by the name of Thomas Sankara, who was the independence leader of what was then called Upper Volta, and he changed the name to Burkina Faso. It was his vision that Africa would be united economically or culturally, just as the vision which was presented through that person by the name of Kwame Nkrumah. This alliance is doing several things, several things that you should know about. One, the alliance has kicked out all French military presence. The alliance has done a second thing, that they have changed all of the French street names in the country to African names. The court system no longer, if you are a judge or a lawyer, you do not dress with a nice little white wig and black robe anymore. You wear African garments when you stand before the people. Children are no longer required to wear British or French uniforms. They come with African garments to school. These actions are part of a larger anti-colonial move on the continent, where countries are seeking to cut off ties with Western nations unless they are equal in relationship. The majority of the world's mineral wealth comes from Africa, but African countries do not control that mineral wealth. Private countries from Europe have special arrangements with governments to extract the resources in exchange for financial or military support. Here are some other things happening on the continent. Rwanda recently outlawed skin lightening cream. That is harmful to the skin and causes cancer. Plus, they've outlawed all plastics in the country. Ghana has banned foreigners from gold trading and is taking control of the gold mines in Ghana. Ghana is now offering dual citizenship to those who are of African descent, specifically African Americans. But also this dual citizenship and naturalization is not just in Ghana, but also Nigeria, Gabon, the Cape Verde Islands, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and Benin all have pathways for citizenship of people of African descent. Africa is waking up, and black people in America must wake up and build relationships, travel, and learn about Africa. This is why we have the Ubuntu Scholars Project, and we are sending 6 brilliant young people to West Africa. We are people of African descent, and a free, thriving, growing Africa is in our best interest. By 2075, half the world's population will be African. It is time for us to partner, invest, visit, for every person to be educated about the power, the wealth, potential, and extraordinary history of the continent that birthed civilization, art, architecture, math, medicine, and philosophy, and the faith that we profess. And that is my 5 minutes.
So shout out to Dr. Otis Moss. So like that brother.
Give me that video.
Okay, so Dr. Otis Moss, right? If y'all familiar with United Trinity out of Chicago, Jeremiah Wright's church, Jeremiah Wright is probably my favorite pastor, but now he's retired. Otis Moss has been filling his shoes wonderfully, and he's been getting at it. But we got another superstar. We got another superstar in the house. Malik Boyd is in the building. Mr. Malik. David Ruffin. Still got a Jordan. What up, bro?
Hey Malik, we gotta change your name. We gotta know what's your West African name, man.
That's Kofi. His name.
It's Kofi.
David Ruffin. That's his name. That's his name.
What you say it is?
It's Kofi.
Kofi.
Tell him what Kofi means, Malik.
Friday born.
Is that tweet?
It is. Yep.
So that's dope. Listen, me and Malik has been arguing for years, probably like 2 decades, right? But I do want to give Malik his flowers because he been like, Kamar, you got to travel more. And he's right. 1,000% right. And he like, go to the continent, go to Africa. So that's the one thing we've been talking about and building about a lot. So I definitely appreciate that. Listen, it was great seeing you today, bro.
Nah, under bad circumstances, it was good seeing you. I miss y'all dudes. I kind of miss this a little bit, being on live. And, I didn't get to the repass for 2 reasons. One, my wife worked from home. I know them kids was probably running her ragged.
Exact right thing.
Right. And then 2, my social battery was on E so fast. I was like, listen, I had my hand sanitized. I took so many hands, hug people, talk about the kids. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can't. I gotta get up out of here. I was done. For the day.
Real quick, tell us what Traci meant to you. I mean,
man. So the thing with Traci, I think I put it. So I met Traci in 1994 when she was 14 years old. right? So we went to E&S together. So, I met her back then, but she was just, a young joint at me. But then, we messed it around. But then when she went to Drexel, when I came home from college, I was, seeing her in the streets, her and Crystal Lacey, running the streets with the colors on, and then to get back to Philly, full time and see her, doing her thing in real estate. And I didn't realize her dad was a legend. I met him, didn't know it was her dad, but her dad was running real estate streets for a while. But part of what some of y'all said on the stage was about some of the stuff that she said on Memoriam. Was talking about bringing black realtors together, making sure they come together, and that's the mission. I've been on that for a while. I think me and Jimmy met. I met with a lot of different black brokers. I'd like to see some of that come in. But in one of the meetings with me and Jasmine, some other people, and we were putting together a new cohort of a way for black agents to work together. And I didn't want to be the leader. It was like, listen, this is my idea. I help organize it, but the only one that could be the leader is Traci. She's the only pick, right? Because she's respected, she's knowledgeable, she's actually in the game. It was like, Traci has to be the leader. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, that idea. But like I said, it's still good to see a lot of positivity. Traci's definitely always been a leader in everybody's eyes.
I got a couple questions for you, bro. That shirt, it says either you sling real estate or you got a wicked business. Where you get that from, bro?
I made it. What was that? Teespring.
You still selling them?
I never sold this. I just put it for myself.
Can I
right.
I caught one though?
Yes, I said, all right, either you sling the biggie lines.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I never seen it before though. I'm like, oh, so you just making stuff just for your personal. What I'm saying is, pause. Can you send me the link so I can order one for myself?
Yeah, you know what? I'll send it. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I look on. I'm sure it's still on Teespring.
I was trying to order. Look, I was trying to order some finance rebel gear. He talking about I don't even know what my Teespring link is.
I don't. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'll do that. But man, listen.
Question. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What's your question? Go ahead.
My second question is: I've seen a shift in your content overall. Like you talk about West Africa every day, all day. I want to know like what got you on that, and why is that? Like, why are you so passionate about it these days?
All right, so before when I was doing content, it was like 90% real estate and like 10% or 90% real estate, like 8% HBCUs and 2% comedy. And that's when I was really trying to, one, be a realtor, and two, or doing cash flow bros, selling courses, content creation in that way. And that I kind of really got burnt out of doing cash flow bros, of being a realtor, like all of that stuff. I kind of got burnt out. So I went away from that, and it was more. And even though my content isn't as tame as a regular person trying to do business, my content was way more tame than I wanted to be. And unfortunately, algorithms, I still can't be who I really want to be because of the algorithms, So I still can't say everything that I like to say and, everything because of the algorithm. But so right now, my content on my stories is finding obscure businesses or even stupid businesses that people are making money, and it's really trying to encourage somebody to go out and start a business, right? And that's why I started that whole launch that business, beloved, on my stories, And actually, the most recent one I put up was a dominatrix, and that's on my story. So you can play that one too. So it's a beautiful reel.
Jimmy wants to see that one, but I'll go
whoa,
first.
Whoa! Hold on. Let's see what I mean about the slander? No, I see. But you go hold on. How about that? I asked him about West Africa. He started bringing up the dominatrix. I was asking you specifically about your West African content.
Right. No, I would just give you a story of how my content changed. Now, the reason why I started. So when the first time I went to Africa was in 2023. We did 10 days in Ghana. We did 7 days in Accra, and it's 7 days in Accra with a group trip, and then 3 days in Cape Coast with me and my wife. We stayed actually at a resort, a small resort called Lemon Beach. Actually, I think it's an African American owned resort, Lemon Beach. Beautiful place. And I fell in love with the continent just from being there. And I'm pretty traveled. Like 2 weeks before I was in Accra, I was in Cartagena, right? This year, last year, I went to Tanzania and Zanzibar, which is in Tanzania. I went to Nairobi on safari, and I also went to Brazil to Eagles. I'll be out. So all these places I go, Cuba, everywhere else, when I saw the opportunities and the lifestyle in Ghana, it really attracted me to Ghana in particular. I've only been to Tanzania, Kenya, and Ghana, so I don't know the rest of the continent. But what I do know is, to be honest with you, when I was at Lemon Beach on that last day, I really felt a calling. I felt like, I'm gonna say this. I don't really want to, don't take it the wrong way, most people. And I know it can sound crazy, but I really felt like they need us, right? And when I say they need us, is because they're really still in slavery. It's just different. And when I say that, it's like when I was talking to my waitress at talking to the waitress at the resort, she was telling me, she was basically asking how much I paid for the plane tickets to get there, like $200, whatever. And she was like, "Wow, can you spend that in a year?" Like, I told 100, I can spend that in like 15. I was like, it's going out of here. And so what she broke down is that she makes about 50, I'm gonna use US currency because the currency changed recently, and she makes about $50 a month. And the highest person at the resort gets paid $100 a month. And I'm like, and no, yes, the currency, like $50 does not go that far. It's not like $50 is going to get you a lot there. $50 can get your rent paid, if you, depending on where you're staying at, but for the most part, it's not a lot. So these people are working in like the Nestle factory, the other water factory, like they're getting paid $90 a month, like 6 days a week, 12-hour days.
Damn.
And it's like, damn, well, what can I do, to help, but not, it's like it's a balancing act. I want to come over to help, but I also don't want to be a colonizer of my own, right? And so I ended up, before I realized the difference in the currencies and how bad it and how much little they got paid, I went to a strip club out there, right? And
if they make $50 a month, what can I get over here for $50?
You're right. No, so I went to the strip club prior to, didn't realize it, right? So I went to the strip club, and in order to get a section, we had to buy 3 bottles. There was a bunch of us, so I ended up buying 3 bottles. And this was expensive. It was very expensive though. Those 3 bottles was like $300, which was a lot. But it's 3 liters though. It's not like not 3/5, it's 3 liters. So we was it's like a gallon of liquor, so they $300 for that. And when the bottle girl bought them out, they don't have a tipping culture over there, but I'm American. I tip. So I tipped her $20. And she lit up. Like, she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." She was hype. And I'm confused. It's like, it's just a regular tip. But then that's when, like a few days later, I realized that $60 was probably like almost two months of her pay. Right. And so that's when, and then I'm looking over there like, okay, what can I do to help? And what can I do, like, to make money? Like, this is a place where I can spend more time. If this is a place where I can live, like, are my resources or, is my talent, can it be utilized here? And what do they have? And the one thing as somebody who's launched a lot of businesses you see over there is nothing but opportunity. Opportunity everywhere is because they have money. But it's not like Lagos, it's not like Kenya, where the cities are overdeveloped. They really don't have a lot there. You go to Kenya, or you go to Kenya, like Nairobi, anything you could think of, they already got it. And
let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you this: the strip club that you went to, was it as good as the strip clubs over here, or was it better or worse?
it was better than Philly strip clubs. but
So
it
we
was,
know Jimmy gonna be there. Jimmy gonna be there.
but
Oh, I'm not the one that asked him that question, by the way, bro.
yeah,
I
yeah,
said
yeah.
I asked for you. I was asking.
I'll say this: I've been to the strip club on every continent that I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah,
what's the
I went to Silver Fox, man, and it was a cool experience. But no, I'm gonna pick Atlanta over anywhere in the world right now. So
So
for
you
strip,
still Magic
strip club.
City is still running it.
Hey, Atlanta's good, but
I've been to Houston. I haven't been to Houston, so I can't say.
I'm about to say Atlanta's good.
Yeah, I ain't been to Houston yet, but everything over there, and all of our food we eat in places $2, $2.50. Now when you get into more like the airport area, like East Lagoon, like yes, you're going to pay dinner American prices for stuff over that area, but the rest of the continent, like it's like legit 30-40 cent you're getting your meals for, but so then I really just enjoyed it. It's a 9.5 hour straight flight from New York, so it's easy to kind of get in and get out. Cost of living, super super cheap. So I'm like, man, can I have a second home here? Or can I spend the majority of my time here, or can I spend a part of my time here? And I came to like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do it. Let me just go ahead and go over for a while. And lastly on that. And I get to the fascination with it, Jimmy, is my kids. I got 2 kids, right? They both go to camp. The camps are expensive in Philly. Everybody know that. Everybody on here who got kids, it's expensive. For the same price as sending my kids to camp, we could spend the summer in Ghana and send them to camp there. Right. And so that's what I'm on, like, okay, let me just go I could get a monthly Airbnb. I could get the plane tickets, and we could legit spend the whole summer in Ghana for the same price as just sending my kids to camp. And so that's what I'm on. Like, okay, can I just spend the summers right now in Ghana? So that's just what I'm. That's what I'm
that'd
on.
be a crazy experience for them. Like,
Life-changing experience.
Yeah, man. So you've been on your West African tip, man. Pause, but you almost a West African news source now. I'll be going on your page. All right, see what's going on.
I mean, so the thing is, because like you have to really look for it. And when I was there, and so what I tell people all the time, and I posted that yesterday, how much the Ghana CD has gained on the US dollar. And when I was there in 2023, the exchange rate was 16-1, right? Ghana CD to US dollar. Just from January, when Trump got in office, to now, it's 10-1. They gained 40% on the US dollar.
Damn,
like
who had that play in the Forex market? Somebody came up.
Somebody came up on that play. I don't know. But what I do know is that and a lot of other countries are investing in there. A lot of other countries are investing in Ghana. You don't hear about anybody trying to invade Ghana. You don't hear about any, terrorists, nothing like that. But what you do see is the UAE just partnered to do another tech village in a neighbor area called Prom, which is beachfront. It's a lot of hours from Accra, right? You have other companies coming in and starting businesses. And also you got to look at West Africa. Look at the price of gold. The price of gold a couple years ago was $1,700 an ounce. These West African countries at $3,500 an ounce, they're making a killing.
Yeah.
Right. And so you got Burkina Faso taking that money and reinvesting into the country. That's why they're able to develop so fast, is because the land of upright people, they are reinvesting. Right. You don't see as much about Mali or Niger reinvesting. You see about them fighting, but you don't see much about them reinvesting into the people as you do Burkina Faso. But the president Mahama of Ghana, he on the same vibe. Like, he's really investing. Also, I can't forget. Madame's name, the president of Namibia, the president of Namibia. You know, listen, she kicked all the Americans out. She kicked all the Europeans out. Like, oh, word, we need a visa to get in your country. Need a visa to get in ours. Get up out of here. You know, took the mines over there too. But Namibia is only like 2 million people. The president of Botswana, he on the same thing. He said now all their diamonds, he said no diamond is going to leave the continent. Nothing is going to leave Botswana not being processed. So no more just raw diamonds. So they want to capture some of that money. So it's just so much stuff going on the continent. And then you know, over like 60% of the population is younger than 20. Right. And then I also posted in the next, I forget about 2027, it's supposed to be like, you know, 400 million people on the continent or will be lifted out of poverty. Now poverty $2 a day.
We
right.
gotta start doing our research. I gotta get some more land in my homeland, man. And by the way, the president, what's her name? Netumbo. Yeah, Nandi. What is it?
Well, right, right, Namibia, right. So, but Namibia is still owned by Germans. Namibia, like 70% of the land is owned by Germans. You know, and so that was their territory. And so my thought is not to be all over the place. I want to say this: to get the land back from places like Namibia and South Africa. The people got two options. You could be like Julius Malema and kill the Boer and be like, yo, we need our land back and we're just taking it. And like Mugabe did, but this new president is paying for the land now. Mugabe did it 15 years ago. Why pay for the land now? Like, yo, he's a sucker for that. Like, that's crazy. Right? But at any rate, Mugabe took the land back.
That's because they've been locked out. Zimbabwe's been locked out so much.
But it helps him. It does not. It's done now. Like, live with it, right? Mugabe did it. Live with it. Figure it out. And so, your options are to either take the land back physically, or I say just tax them, right? You got all these, and just if they don't pay their taxes, foreclose. Everybody understand that. Everybody understands foreclosure, right? Like with Namibia, all that land there, the Germans. The owner, those families don't even live there. They live back in Germany. The land is just sitting there and they're saying, we got it with no recourse. All right, cool. It's the tax now. I guarantee they'll either start paying on whatever land they own, or you be like, okay, it's yours, where the deed at? If it's yours, show me a deed. Show me how you got it. If you can't, it belongs to the state.
That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. So it's crazy times we're living in. Seeing all this activity happen and seeing people engage in it is just amazing. I know Kamari loves it.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And you know, Africa for the Africans. Shout out to Marcus Garvey. So
I know.
You know, go ahead, Malik.
I'm sorry, I apologize. But the only thing I did want to say is that when you're paying attention, like to the continent, and I thought about it, like, okay, if we're talking about like the life cycle of a country, of a business, the U.S. peaked out. Right. And we, you know, I don't know where you think we are in the life cycle of the country. If you think that we're like just over, you know, the parabola coming way down, or you think we're at the bottom of that parabola, I don't know where you feel like we are. But either way, we're not going up. Like the U.S. as a continent, as a country has peaked out. It's over with as far as the growth, in my opinion. Now, it's like when you go back and you look at like Singapore 60 years ago, when you go back, even look at China 60 years ago, like they were like farming, like Singapore was just a fisherman village. Now Singapore is like one of the financial capital of the world, and it happens quick. And when you see how fast it happens, like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my piece now, because you're going to turn around and the crowd's going to be a behemoth. Right, like Nigeria has 270 million people, right, and so when you look at
in one country, like Africa had 50 plus countries. When people say Africa, they think of it as one country, like they think of this one country. It's 50 plus countries.
Right, 54, right. So those 270 million people in Nigeria, but with a bad leader, Tinubu. He don't even live in Nigeria. He live in London, but he's the president.
Whoa, that's wild.
It's very wild.
You know, but he
All
live
right,
in
Malik
London.
said. So hold that thought for 1 second, Malik. Malik did tell us to look at something else. So I thought this was interesting.
Little but strong.
So that's the business. That's the business Malik wants everybody to start.
Whoa, I said, where this show going? What's going on? Like, you trying to be my Malik?
That's from Malik's
I was
story.
like,
Totally
where did
pulling
that
out.
come from?
Yeah, like you trying to be right now, man.
Y'all don't be paying attention, man. Malik said, "Pull up his stories." That was from his stories.
That's from my stories. I was like, listen, you know what? A black woman getting paid to beat up the white dude. Listen, I love that business. Launch that business. Launch that. Do that business. You know, but one thing I will say, when I was in Zanzibar, and I'm just riding with my head, I was like, what are they going to do with all these kids? Like legit, I just saw like thousands of like toddlers and like, you know, preteens just running around the island. I'm like, yo, they got to figure out something to do with all of these kids. And so you got to figure that as all these people come of age and there's more money available, they're going to need housing. They're going to need cars. They're going to need bikes. They're going to need schooling. They're going to need clothes. They're going to need food. Right. And so it's going to be like a lot of opportunity created. And then what you also realize is that the only place on a continent that has really figured out tourism is only really two. And that's three, like Morocco, Cairo, and Kenya with the safaris. They're the only ones that actually figured out tourism. Once people start to come there and they're not afraid, then once they open that tourism dollars up, oh my God, oh buddy, it's going to be, you know, because they got pristine beaches, they have mountains, they have the animals, they got what don't they have? They have the eco villages, you know, they have deserts, they have everything. So once they really,
have you been on the safari in Kenya?
I went to safari in Kenya. Yeah, yes.
How was it?
The safari in Kenya, I had a good time, but I would tell everybody never ever do it how I did it. I did it; it was miserable. How I did it. Don't do it. Because I didn't want to go for a 2-day safari.
You went there drunk. You was off them lemon drops?
No. Listen. So what happened is I didn't want to do a 2-day safari. I was like, you know what, whatever. We'll go see the animals and come back. So the driver picked us up from our hotel at like 4:30 in the morning. I didn't know that it was a 6-hour drive to get the Masai Mara to enter the reserve. And so we drive up 6 hours. We spend a few hours running around Masai Mara. We saw all of the big 7 except for rhinos, and we saw like lions, cheetahs, saw everything. We didn't see a lion stalking, but we did see the aftermath. We did see some lion cubs frolicking. You know, we saw some hyenas, you know, eat some. We saw a lot of stuff, and I think that a lot of baboons themselves.
You took your kids on a safari too?
Nah, I got to go back with them kids. I have to go back with them. But after we drove around Masai Mara for a few hours, the driver drove us 6 hours back to the hotel. I'm in the car for like 18 hours down there. It was a terrible experience. I will never do that. And anybody that goes so far, if you go to Nairobi, spend at least one day at the resort, at the safari, either in the reserve or outside the reserve. Do that, but don't do what I did. Don't go to Nairobi and back in the same day. That was miserable, terrible.
That's a good piece of advice. Then it's good to know.
Yeah, do that. But ultimately, so yeah, just looking at Africa, looking what's going on, and as I go down the rabbit hole, I'm looking like, okay, They don't like, and for instance, Nairobi is really developed. We stay at the Sankofa, which is like one of the Marriott luxury affiliates. My homie stayed at the W. They got those high-end luxury hotels in Nairobi. Ghana doesn't have any high-rise luxury hotels, not one. They have a Marriott, but it's a regular 3-story Marriott is just there. They don't have any like DR style all-inclusive resorts. You know, they don't have they're just really getting high rises over the past couple of years. Like the cranes are just really coming up in the crowd. You know, so there's a lot of wealth. And so right now, there's a lot of gentrification in Accra. But the people that are gentrifying really are the Chinese, the Lebanese, and the Nigerians. Right. And so they really push the prices up in the city of Accra. And so, you know, but everything's building, man. Everything is they are, without getting too much into it. I mean, Jim took a long time, but I could talk probably for 2 more hours what they're doing. But just Ghana specifically, they already have 2 ports. There's one in Tema, which is outside of Accra, and there's one in Takoradi, which is like about 10-hour drive away. That's up closer to the Ivory Coast. And what they're doing now is they're creating a 24-hour economy to create more jobs. And sometimes there are ships off the coast of Ghana for 2 weeks because they can't unload fast enough. Right. And so what they're doing is they're doubling the capacity of the port in Tema. And then what they're also, there's the Volta River, what goes with the Volta Lake, I think it's the largest man-made lake. And they're building another inland port there. So container ships are going to be able to unload either in Takoradi, Tema, or up and I think Obukobi, up the Volta River. And the reason why they're doing that is because now that Burkina Faso, which is as a touches Ghana, and also Niger, which touches Ghana, because their economies are growing, they are buying more stuff. So Ghana is going to take advantage. Ghana is going to, all the stuff that they come from the countries is coming through the ports in Ghana. So, you know, Ghana's longshoremen, I guess they're called longshoremen. Here they're longshoremen. Like they are really making a killing right now. And once those other, once the port of Tema is expanded, and then the new one is built, a lot of jobs. They're also building they're building a train line between Tema and Burkina Faso, which is going to Y off into Niger. Also, Morocco just entered an agreement with Burkina Faso to the chagrin of to Algiers. They partnered to build a rail line to Morocco so that the exports of Burkina Faso can get to Europe easier. And so Europe can't grow food.
That's crazy.
Right. So Europe can't go grow food year round. So imagine and also Morocco, they dropped the visa requirements for Ghanaians. And so there's going to be a free flow of goods and people between Ghana and Morocco, between Burkina Faso and Niger and Morocco, and also Mali. And so now everything that they're growing, they're going to be able to export it to Europe. They're going to be able to get it to Europe. You know, whether listen, Ghana's so rich, bro. They're building, you got to figure, the white folk been stealing the gold from Ghana for hundreds of years, and they still got a lot of gold. You know, it's like they went to go build a new airport on the border of Burkina Faso because to make it safe, it's not safe right now to bring the gold out, right? So they want to build another airport on a border that's going to be used by Burkina Faso and Ghana to get the gold out faster. When they went to dig to start to build the airport, they didn't gold mine. It just go everywhere. So Ghana got a whole new gold mine, and they got to move the airport somewhere different because now they're going to mine that gold. You know, and so it's just
gold, and this is at a time when gold is booming. So
when gold, right? Gold, what's the gold today? Like $34 an ounce.
Yeah, close to
35, 34, 35.
Right. And so now, you know, what Ghana you know, and Burkina Faso working on farming, and now they got a way to. They have an outlet to ship their produce, everything out to Europe, so now they got more money coming in, and it's just as you know, the only thing really stopping that country right now, the whole area from booming, is really France. France supported by the U.S. is the really hindrance of that area. You know, and I don't know if you guys notice, but Burkina Faso, they struck oil. Like nobody
Yeah,
would think that
I heard him saw that.
you would find oil that far inland. And what the geologists are saying, like it must have been an ancient ocean or something. Like how they have oil? They shouldn't have oil that far inland. You know, but they struck oil now. So yeah, it's going to be so if France gets out the
let's get it.
If France gets out the way, so we got a couple things. France got to get out the way, and so part of that is the president of Ivory Coast, Oyami, whatever his name is. He got to move out the way because he's harboring the terrorists and the ones that are attacking Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. They're hiding out in the Ivory Coast. They know that. They know they're there, right? And you got to think. So what Traore and his team did, they found there was a shipment that intercepted of 900 motorcycles going towards the terrorists. Think about that. There's 900 people hiding in the woods that attack on bikes. There's 900 people. Where they getting? Who paid for all 900 bikes? Who paid for 900 brand new motorcycles? Who paid for that? Right? Who's paying for all of their weapons? You know, and so yeah, if France gets out the way, yeah, the area is really going to move, right? And then the last thing I'm gonna say on this is, when you think about the number that the colonizers did and on the continent, think about Ghana. Ghana is surrounded by French-speaking countries. So to the north, there's Ivory Coast, and then there's Burkina Faso, and then there's Niger, and then to the south is Togo, right? At the Togo, there is Benin, which is also a French-speaking country. Right after Benin is Nigeria. Nigeria is bordered by Cameroon to the south, French-speaking, right? And so there's no way for us to even coordinate because nobody even speaks the same. We don't speak the same language. We're divided up by language. You know, so how can a ordinary Ghanaian do business with an Ivorian, right? Or a Burkina Bay? They cannot unless they have money to buy the technology. Right, to have one of those earpieces, or you know,
get some Google Translate out that piece.
Got to get some Google Translate, but even still, it's going to be difficult. You're not going to seek that out, but because we can't even communicate, there's no common language, right? As a part of having a culture, it's a common language, right?
Which is why they strip these countries of their language and give them language, because that's how you keep. Anyway, this is why these free. When they free themselves and they don't change the language, they're not really free.
They're not really free, man. And so that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay. And one thing that Julius Malema said, which I thought in my mind, I think was great. He was like, listen, his thing is, let's adopt Swahili as the language of the continent. Swahili is already the most common language of the continent. They speak it. And he's saying it's very, I don't know this, but Julius Malema said it. It said very close to Zulu. And he's like, listen, if we adopted, everybody adopted, and so that was use Swahili. They got it in Kenya, Tanzania, they're already speaking Swahili. And let's go ahead and adopt Swahili and make it the language of the continent so they can communicate and do business
become
together.
The most spoken language in the world.
So actually, is it time to like brush up on French, or should I be learning Swahili?
Swahili.
Right. Listen, right now, if you're going to learn another language, be honest with you, listen, it's the reason my son is in French school right now.
So you're
I mean,
you're saying it's French.
because that change isn't going to happen because the countries that speak Swahili also speak English. Right. And so
I'm low-key taking French lessons right now.
Hey, you know what's crazy though when you think about it, man? Is like all of these people, they speak 3 or 4 languages, right? They like a Ghanaian, they're going to speak English, they're going to speak Tree, they're going to speak the other tribal languages. They're going to have like 3 or 4 languages that they know and they can communicate through.
Yep.
You know, it's the same way all throughout.
I can't get it clear.
Oh yeah, you're not can't.
I was trying to show y'all. Hold on, let me fix my glare. I was trying to show y'all my streak. I got me a little.
Oh, you got a streak on Duolingo?
Yeah, I got me a Duolingo streak right now, man. I'm going crazy on Duolingo trying to.
No, I can't even see that. How many days?
It's super. I got a 119-day streak, man. I got a
119. Oh yeah, let's get it.
What are you trying to learn, John?
I'm taking a French lesson every day, man. I'm up to 119 days straight, man. I'm trying
to. Hey, listen.
I started that once I figured that was the book. You know what I'm saying? You know, my
yeah. But you gotta the language of the people. But yeah, but the point is, man, is like you know, what we here, right? One thing that we have here that they don't have is access to credit. They don't do credit over there, right? And so we could call one of these credit gurus and get 100K apparently. You know what I'm saying? We could go to any of these lenders and get a 25, 50K credit card, and you go over there, you're balling. You can whatever business you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
Anything that you want. And because the labor is so cheap, my conscience won't let me pay somebody $100 a month. Right? But I might not pay them $500, you know what I'm saying? But it won't be $100 a month when I go over there and begin to hire people, you know. But whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. What I thought about doing is my customer service center for my business there because they have the AI technology to make them sound like anywhere in the world. But if I can hire these people, you know, and pay them better than they would get paid as an average Ghanaian, but also I don't have to pay the American dollar, but my client of the end think you're talking to somebody from Texas, you know, or have an accent like that, they don't know, then like that to me, I'm just really paying for technology. So I thought about doing that, but it doesn't matter. You know, even if you want to export, like, you know, they got a lot of shea butter.
I was just about to say shea butter, man.
Right. You know, you could import. Look at this boy. You put a bit.
Yeah, Dad.
You say hi. Say hi.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Yo,
what's going on?
When I was just in Aruba, right? You know, their language is Papiamento. But the guy was driving around. He was like, "That's what we speak." He was like, "But everybody in Aruba learns a minimum of 4 languages." So
that's the same language they speak in Curacao.
Yeah, it's at a minimum.
Right. You know what? Because Aruba is Dutch, right? It was Dutch territory.
Yeah, so what do they call it? The ABC or something? It's Aruba, Curacao, and something else. What is it?
Right. So everybody in Curacao speak 4 languages. Everybody. No matter social class, you speak 4 languages. Everybody does. So, but anyway, the point I was making is just
they call it the ABC Islands. It's Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. The ABC Islands. So they're all Dutch, but yeah, both said they speak Papiamento, but it's a minimum of 4 languages. That's the minimum.
So, but yeah, like, so you're thinking like, all right, like in Ghana, you know, what's up, boy? Yes.
Okay.
But so they like even like this, right? Let's say, you know, like we import everything. And I was looking at it. Most of our produce come from like Guatemala. It's the same travel distance in the container from Ghana as Guatemala. You know, they got bananas. They got bananas in Ghana. I'm saying they got avocados in Ghana. They have mangoes in Ghana. I'm saying it's like, okay, so why not just export some of that stuff to the US or to the UK, right? We don't grow anything anyway. And I was looking, I don't know if you guys realize this, I didn't notice till recently, but 60-something% of the beef in America comes from Australia. I had no idea.
But then I thought a lot of it came from Brazil.
No, listen, our most of our beef comes from Australia. You know, and like, listen, right now you could buy a cow in Ghana for $300. You buy a full size live cow, and then like a healthy one for like $300.
Damn.
You get a smaller one for like $200. You know, so but everything and
that's like one fillet at a butcher and singers, like, you know.
Right. So
you can buy a whole cow for the same price. Like, what's going on?
Right. And listen, if you think about the chocolate industry, like 70% of the cocoa comes from Ghana and Ivory Coast. What you're going to start saying is, I guarantee you this, Hershey's going to come up with products that are not chocolate, because what Ghana did is the same thing that Botswana did with the diamonds. They said no more cocoa was going to leave Ghana that's not processed. So that's Nestle, that's Hershey's, Nestle, Hershey. What's the big three? Mars, Nestle, Hershey, and Mars. Most of their businesses come from because of Ivory Coast in Ghana, but those farmers make less than $1 a day, and a lot of kids, right? So now you're like, damn, how can they don't have no cocoa in America, no cocoa in France with Nestle? No, they don't have it. But they're able to make multi-billion-dollar businesses off their products that's harvested in Ghana.
Did you say $1 a day?
Less than $1 a day.
You can't get jiggy with that.
You cannot get jiggy with $1 a day. Like, and that's a lot of kids. And that's why I like Mr. Beast. Without taking it everywhere, because Mr. Beast has a chocolate bar. He was like, listen, he wants to make sure that he was trying to disrupt the system and pay his farmers more. And the system was like, no, you can't do that. We're not gonna let you pay more. Nobody wants you to pay more. And he went around the system, and he's really building out his chocolate company.
Yo, Mr. Beast chocolate is low key fire too. That's just the ingredient.
It is fire. It is fire. Shout to Mr. Beast.
Chocolate though, like it's actually fire.
Yeah, shout to Mr. Beast.
Jimmy eating Snow Bunny chocolate. Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, you said it, not me.
Show me the black-owned chocolate company.
Right.
Don't mess with Snow Bunny chocolate.
When y'all think about this, right, is one of the reasons why there's a couple of chocolate processors in Ghana, but they mostly do chocolate milk and like the powder. And the reason why they do it is because they don't have enough dairy factories to make a chocolate bar, and they don't have the refrigeration to keep the milk cold and it doesn't spoil. So they can't make chocolate because they don't have enough milk.
All right, so let's get to brass tacks, right? Because we can talk about this for hours. Because
for sure. I love it. Yeah.
But I want to know, what are things that we can do, or even somebody watching, what can we do to kind of, I don't want to say take advantage of, but be prepared for the shift that's happening with resources and everything being allocated to the continent? What is something that we can do here right now? Like, what kind of steps should we be taking?
So one, I would say visit.
Okay.
Right, because your dollars matter, right? You have to, when you go there, be like me. You could tip the bottle girl 20%, right? You could just drop money off. You know, you could feel like I felt like Mansa Musa riding through the country, man, making the price everything go up.
We got a couple of savages in our comments, so they gotta be careful. You tell them to do something for $26, they're going over there with different ideas.
The Nate gang is vicious.
Yeah, they're going over there trying to buy some yamage. But
listen, what I'm saying is you go over there, visit, spend your money. Don't be arrogant when you get there. If you have a moment, stop by the communities, share some knowledge, take some books with you, take some writing materials, you might take some batteries, take some flashlights, that's because everybody, the reason why Nigerians are going to Ghana has a way more stable electrical grid than Nigeria. Nigeria, they like at nighttime, you look at Nigeria, it's pitch black. In Ghana, and Accra, at least, it's still lit up. Like they don't have power outages like how they have it in Nigeria. It's way more developed now. And so Nigeria got a lot to do, and a lot to develop, work on that side. But I would say more than anything else, the first thing you can do is, yes, go there, spend some money. If you find a supplier or something that you like, if you want to start a business, then cool. Like I bought my mom a handmade camel skin purse. I paid retail $35 for that. You know, the auntie appreciated it. I give her a $5 tip. You know, but she makes that in her house. She's making purses. So go ahead, you know, buy the purse from auntie. But also you might buy 30 purses from auntie. You know, get your Shopify and sell it to your friends, and let auntie be your supplier, right, for these purses. You know, also watch out for knockoffs, because the Chinese, they have knockoff kente cloth now, and they
knock off everything.
They got you're right. I forget in Nigeria, I forget they invented the way to dye their clothes, and China, you know, knocked that off also. And like we wouldn't have leather jackets, leather coats, leather shoes if it wasn't for Nigeria, because the way that they tan their leather, that's the reason why we can have these products now. You know, it's what they did in Nigeria. But like I said, if anything else, go with an open mind. Go to the slave castles only one time. Don't do it twice. I ain't gonna lie. I was in that joint, man. I was in that joint about them fall. The slave castle is real. Like, once you understand what they did to us, right? You know, over there, a lot of people was crying in that. It's like, listen, I've only felt emotional visiting two places in my life. One was that slave castle, slave dungeon in Cape Coast, and then visiting the Bob Marley house and Bob Marley house and in Kingston.
That's an emotional experience, bro.
Nah, I was emotional in the it was like the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. Like I was emotional there, and I think the second place for me was like Night on Broadway one time. But outside of that.
Hey, listen, the Bob Marley house, man, when you go in the back of the house and they have the bullets and still in the wall from when they tried to kill him, like, yo, everything. It was a really emotional time in the Bob Marley house. So those two things. But more than anything else, you know, and just, you know, bring courtesy. Don't be arrogant when you go over there, and understand that, and buy stuff, even if you don't need it. The people outside selling the bags of water, you're not going to drink that water. You know, just buy the water from them, people. You know, people selling the peanuts. You know, buy the peanuts. Just, you know, spend the money, you know, and that's it. Bring the education, share. And also,
basically what you're saying, Malik, is really get immersed, right? To see what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's the first thing I would say is really just go. And not only just go, be cognizant of where you're staying. Like when you book in the Airbnb, look at the host. You know, who's the one hosting the Airbnb before you book it.
So you're saying the person that's booking should be black.
The person that should not only black, even a Ghanaian.
Gotcha. I don't know if I've ever visited this. Miss Edie's in the chat. She said visiting the African burial grounds in Lower Manhattan is a powerful feeling.
I've been
in Manhattan a gazillion times. I don't know if I've ever done that.
I might have to put that on my. I'm going to New York with the kids. I'm going to put that on my list.
Because a lot of, I believe it's Central Park. A lot of Central Park is, I believe, is buried.
Yeah, but I think all of that land was once our land. Yeah.
What's that? Seneca Village.
But I do know there is an African burial, like in Manhattan. I've never been to it though. We might have to do that. We might have to do a road trip, y'all.
Yeah. I'm
taking to make a trip. That's a 2-hour trip.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm taking the kids up there. We're gonna go to Statue of Liberty. I want to see the chain at her feet, all that kind of stuff, man. We want to go all the tourist stuff. You know, that's when France was good.
Dr. DeGraw talk about the chains on the feet, how they tried to send it. They tried to send it back. And
they send it back. They're like, look, the chains on the wrist. And they sent it back to France. It was like, listen, we're going to get you a little piece of that. So they had to change their feet. Like I said, that's when France was good. Now France, the worst colonizer we got. They are still colonizing. They're the worst ones. How do you worse than the British? That's crazy. They worse than the Portuguese. France, the worst ones. You know. But anyway, Jimmy, you asked like how, and like I said, our thing is just go, be cognizant. Same thing as here. It's like, you know where you spend the money at. You know. The Lebanese own a lot of the most expensive land in the Accra, right?
I'm laughing because every time I hear the word Lebanese now, because I watched that Power Raising Canaan joint, Every time I hear the word Lebanese, I just die laughing. Right? You don't remember when Marvin with his daughter?
I don't watch Raising Kanan, man.
You don't watch that? You watch it, Kamari, don't you?
Yeah, I watch it, but I don't remember. Oh,
Right,
I do remember. No, I do remember.
Yeah,
That's the new plug. That's the new plug. Yeah.
Well, Marvin, when he found out that his daughter was dating women, he was like, "Hold up, what you Lebanese?" Yeah, so now every time I hear that, I die about that one scene. Like Uncle Marvin got a lot of work. He got a lot of work to do. But anyway,
but go.
Marvin been doing the work.
No, but I'm saying, listen, go visit if you got skills. Go to some of the schools, take some calculators. Go to the dollar store, load up. They need all of that stuff. Like, listen, these people make $50 a month. Whatever you bring, they need for sure.
So they need supplies. All right, so
yeah, they take some supplies to them, man.
But not to kind of like cap everything off. One of the things I think about, and it's something that you mentioned. And I saw an amazing YouTube video about this, right? I think about trying to help, but then actually going over and becoming the kind of the colonizer yourself, right? I think about that often because there's a video where is a bunch of folks who are expats and a bunch of folks who are locals, and they're having like an open discussion. This guy like brought them together. And some of the vitriol that the expats were facing was like, yo, y'all come here, y'all do all these things, but we can't afford it. Y'all raising the prices, but we can't afford it. And it's like, y'all are gentrifying your own people. And in me watching that video, I was like, I guess some thought has to really go into it. It has to be strategic. You can't just go over there because you have some purchasing power and just make these moves because you're not actually helping.
Right. So here's the balance of that, right? Here's what makes it difficult. One, you don't see them same videos with Chinese people and Lebanese people. You don't see them same videos. Mm-hmm. You only see the videos of Ghanaians looking at Black Americans like, yo, y'all putting the prices up.
And that brings up another conversation. Why do they feel comfortable saying that to?
But or why is the person doing the video asking the expat and not asking the Chinese or Lebanese?
Well, that's white supremacy,
Right. It could be that. But so I think I commented on one of those posts, right? And what it is like a lot of times we pay a tourist tax. So if let's say a person is selling apples and the apple costs 25 cents and they see me as a tourist and try to rip me off and charge me 50 cents. And I know I'm getting ripped off, but it's okay. I want to support his business.
So that was kind of the clapback, the response that the expats had in that video. They was like, yo, but y'all be taxing us in ways y'all don't tax other folks. So I get it, but I think that it's I still believe the answer is we have to like really sit down and think about how to make it work and be strategic because you just don't want to become, you don't.
I think the answer is give more than you take. If you go there and you just flexing, and you just balling out, wilding, and you only in the downtown spots, then yeah. But if you are, listen, man, even Ja Rule but the school, so it's like, yo, if you can help hire. What I would even do, honestly, what I was thinking about doing is hiring a teacher. Like they have other teachers there that's not working. It's like, man, all right, bet you want $30 a month? Cool. I could just pay you for the year for you to be an extra teacher assistant in the school, right? Or stuff like that. There's other things that we can do. And there's one dude, I forget his name, but he leads he's the president of like the African American Diaspora Association over there. So he adopted the town and he built the library in that town. Nice. And there are things that you could do like that, like I said, but ultimately, like I said, you definitely want to get more than you take. Because when I go, I'm gonna stay somewhere nice. And I know they're gonna charge me up, but I want to make sure that I got 24-hour electricity. I want to make sure that I'm somewhere where they have they call them boreholes, right? These boreholes are like wells, but they're more better than ours because the more current ones they have reverse osmosis in them. They all got reverse osmosis. So they water is we don't get to buy spring water. So I want to be. I know I'm gonna pay a premium to be in a little better area. I mean, I want him to be able to go outside to the pool, go to the playground. You know, I want him to be able to do those kinds of things. I want to be close, you know, to a lot of stuff. And so I'm paying a premium. I know that. But like I said, and I know I'll be pushing the prices up in a way. I'll be one of people putting prices up. I know that. But like I said, I have to find other ways to give back because I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to pay $100 a month to stay in a shack somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is. No, I'm not going to do. And even if you did that, you're taking the house away from somebody else that could have that flip. Then it's always going to be like, yeah. But ultimately, just give more than you take. Well, if you go there, you are taking for sure because they have everything to give. They have everything to give. Everything is there. You know, everything is there.
Gotcha.
No, man, listen,
Well, Malik, before you leave, what you doing tomorrow, man? We need you to pull up. We got a cash mount tomorrow, man. Come on through Coffee Creams and Dreams, 11 o'clock.
All right. You know, I think I shared that flyer like 3 times real fast.
Appreciate that, man.
Actually, you know, I saw Joel today after the funeral. I saw Joel in West Philly, and he actually sent me a text.
Nice.
You know, but yes, listen, Malik will be not for the whole thing, but I will come.
I'll buy you a cup of coffee, man.
I appreciate the honesty.
But yeah,
his social battery. He got a AAA's now. He used to have like D battery. Now it's AAA.
That's for real, though. That's for real.
Got it. But thanks for having me on. Listen, I love y'all dudes, man. I'm glad we
nothing but love, bro.
On the joint.
Love, man.
Say good night.
Peace.
And hold on, Malik, before you go, we need to have you back more often, man. So just know, invites always open.
And yo, also don't forget to send me the link to that shirt too, bro. I need that.
Yeah, I tonight when I lay in bed, I'll look for that. I'll look for that link.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro.
I'll look on the joint. Say right. Say au revoir.
Later, bro.
Au revoir.
Oh, that was dope.
No, man, I always get great about the continent, man. I told you Malik been on his. Listen, just go to his page.
I know.
I said you ain't talking about real estate no more. You like West Africa, Coach Carter, but you know, that was great information, man. Like,
we need to have Malik back to talk about his feelings on real estate now, also, because he is not in a good place about Philadelphia real estate. To be specific.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But, I just learned a couple things. In our chat too about some different chocolates I didn't know about, and one of them I just found this website. It's dope too. I gotta first of all, Jamil just told me this one in Philly. I definitely didn't know about that one.
What's that?
John and Kira's chocolate. They're on West Wyoming. Yeah, that's like less than 10 minutes away.
Oh, we need to pull up
163 West Wyoming. I gotta look this up, bro.
That's near Front Street, though.
That's that's like A in Wyoming.
I ain't never heard of it.
Yeah, but we still can pull up.
I'm on their website, but the other website I thought was dope was I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Escania chocolates, which is Haitian chocolates. Haitian women create this.
Oh wow. Belgium gets credit for their chocolate, but it comes from Africa. Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's almost like everything in existence.
That is a fact. So listen, we didn't get a chance to get through all the chats, but we've been on for 2.5
Yeah, we about to get out of here, man, because we got to do it. We got to actually pull up early tomorrow morning, man. Matter of fact,
I still have to go do stuff for the show tomorrow and tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Because they got this whole protest going on here in Philly. What is it again? No Kings?
I don't know.
No Kings protest.
I call it a protest for nons. But listen, let's get out of here, man. Matter of fact, let's do a giveaway, man. What's our giveaways hashtag tonight? No, we ain't even gonna ask that. Our hashtag is Traci.
TRACI.
Our giveaway tonight is Traci. Hashtag Traci. You put hashtag Traci in the chat.
Traci. With an I. TRACI.
Uppercase, lowercase.
No matter.
Uppercase, lowercase.
It's not case sensitive.
It does matter.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah, put it
Good,
Like
because
you
I'm
can
right.
write a regular name.
You're not, but I'm not gonna argue with you.
Oh, shucks. All right, well, I already messed it up. So let's see what we got. Oh, shut. Oh, man. Let's see. Now, before we get to that, I did want to show one more thing.
Show it
And I
while
know
they
we are mad
while
over
they logging
time.
in.
Yep. You know, we are here to honor Tracy. So Jimmy basically jacked me for all my joints.
I did what?
That as well as we have to do a better job of building
Yeah, that ain't it.
community.
Hey. I hear sound out in the video.
Relax. Hold on.
I told
There
you
we
before,
go.
dog. Close some of them tabs.
Jim about to have an aneurysm.
As well as we have to do a better job of building community. Because since we've been in this country,
That's actually not what I wanted. My bad, y'all. We've showed this already. That's actually the raw one. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. I'm running on fumes, by the way. Jimmy had me get up super early this morning, threatened to leave me if I don't show up on time.
Yo, this
I was
boy,
there early.
all right, you are one on one.
it's a tough conversation when we start talking about silent generation, boomers, Gen X, millennials, older millennials, and then Gen Z. The way that they view death, money, how they made money, all of those things are important when you're having these conversations with them. I know for my family, and a lot of times having discussions with other families who come to me, you have to be very sensitive about the struggles of the people who made the money and what their relationship is to money. Because that can play a big part in the transfer of money. I've heard the earned it conversation a long time, but Jimmy and I can tell you from growing up and going into one of the only Black private schools in the East Coast, which is no longer in existence, but all hail Ivy League Middle School. Among the Greens, they go on to something. The discussion and helping your family to understand you come from kings. You come from queens. Wealth is our birthright. We are not new to wealth. We got oil running in our veins. So when you live out that prophecy, when you're talking about it, and when you're using it in your conversation with your elders in that space, you say, but Papa, I come from you. I learned everything from you. Everything that you built is to help me take it further. And it might have to be a conversation of just understanding what their struggle is, what their concern is. I mean,
Man, this is so crazy to watch this, but that woman didn't miss. She didn't miss.
Never.
You know, like,
listen, and that was our last cash mob. That happened in March.
Yep.
That was our last cash mob, and that was our last group project that we were all present for.
And the next one is tomorrow. That was the last one, and the next one is tomorrow.
But we'll honor her tomorrow. We're going to honor her often.
Yeah. Y'all gonna get tired.
Forever.
Y'all gonna get tired of me, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like
y'all just gonna be mad.
That's family. So I say all that to say, man, put hashtag Tracy if you want to put in our giveaway. Make sure you guys send me a message this evening once you get it. We got 13 folks in there, man. Hey, listen, man.
Let it rip. 13 folks.
Let it rip. I mean, let it rip, bro. Because I mean, we gotta get prepared for tomorrow morning. Because that thing, we gotta be there bright out and bushy tail, nice and early in the morning.
All right, can we get 2 more? We got 24 people here so far. Give me 2 more. 2 more. All right, but listen, if you don't do it soon, because I got to run out and I got stuff to do while Jimmy gonna be in his bed sleep. So while I'm working.
Whoa!
Can you hear this, man?
What I say?
First off, I'm about to give me a nice bowl of Apple Jacks. But other than that, man, I'm chilling.
Sitting on about $500,000.
chilling. All right, so nobody wants money. Nobody wants any free Bitcoin. Okay.
Listen, man, let's get it popping. Let it rip, bro. It's 13 folks, man. That means that somebody got an easier chance of winning because it's only 13. Remember, get your Lightning address and email it to blackwealthrebels@gmail.com. You go to a Cash App. You click on your Bitcoin joint, hit receive. You'll see a QR code. Tap the QR code. It'll say Bitcoin address, Lightning address. Send me your Lightning address. Send me your Lightning address.
All right, we got a couple more. We got 14. We got 14 in now. All right, can we get one more? But you know what? I ain't waiting. Y'all don't want it. It's cool. We're going to let it rip.
Let's go.
Whoever we got. Boing, boing, boing.
And
boing,
the winner is...
Boing, boing.
Oh, man.
Dr. Chaz.
Dr. Chaz.
All right, congratulations. Congratulations. And by the way, don't forget, I ain't forgot. We are going to make it so if you are not a member of the village, you are not going to be in the entry. But we'll get to that later. Y'all got to run us today. All right, Dr. Chaz. I believe Dr. Chaz is in the village, though.
So, Miss Edie's Kitchen asks, what is a Lightning address? A Lightning address is another way to send Bitcoin. So the Lightning address is a side chain of the Bitcoin blockchain that enables transactions to happen at a much faster pace and a whole lot cheaper. So I can send millions of dollars probably for less than 10 cents on the Lightning side chain. It gets a little bit more deep technologically speaking, because in order to operate on the Lightning network, you have to lock up Bitcoin, and that allows you to then it's almost like creating tabs. So if I open up a tab with Kamari now, me and Kamari can send money back and forth to each other.
Hey, send me a couple dollars.
But you can also route transactions for other people and make money. So anyways, it gets a little deeper. There is, by the way, if you're in the village, go to the Stack Sats or Die Trying little folder, and there's an entire episode on the Lightning address. So there's that.
There we go.
With that being said, Dr. Chaz, are you still here? No problem, Miss Edie. All this, that's what we're here for. I don't know if Dr. Chaz is still here. I mean, I'm gonna give a couple seconds.
I'm looking. Dr. Chaz, where you at?
Kind of delay. And you know how we roll. If Dr. Chaz don't claim this, we gonna chat. Listen, we love Chaz, but if she don't claim this,
we gonna spin again.
We gotta roll.
Man.
We gotta roll. Dr. Chaz, you got, let's put the clock out. We're gonna do what? Another 20, 30 seconds, and then we're gonna keep it moving. With that being said, though,
where you at, Dr. Chaz?
I gotta put y'all down with something while we wait for Dr. Chaz, or we wait for 30 seconds to keep it moving. I'll give Kamari his credit. Kamari put me down with this book. There's a book. It's on Audible, and I think it's actually free if you have an Audible subscription. But it's on H. Rat Brown. I need y'all to get on that ASAP. That book is phenomenal. It's kind of like a podcast more than a book, but yeah, it had me in the crib very angry and emotional. So,
all right. So I don't think Dr. Chaz is in the building. I think she left us. She might have fell asleep.
Let's run it back.
Bring that beat back. Bring that beat back.
All right. So let's put it back up here. All right, so Dr. Chaz going once, going twice,
going to somebody else.
3 times. It's going to somebody else.
Somebody loves you, baby. Oh,
you know what? It's funny. I was thinking that same thing, Corey. Shout out to Patty. JT Coins.
Listen. I know JT's still here.
But you know what? Let me do this too, right? Because I don't think we announced this. JT also did a super chat.
There go Dr. Chaz right there.
Well, I think it's a little late. JT, thank you for the super chat. You are this week's winner. And now Dr. Chaz is back. Oh, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Listen, we'd do. I put the 25 in for both.
Right.
We got 2 winners, man.
How about this? Both people win. Yeah. So both of y'all send me your lightning address. Send it tonight, by the way.
Like now, like right now, like
yeah.
now.
If y'all
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm fading. I'm big.
Me too, bro. Kamar, you sure you're gonna be okay, bro?
I don't have a choice, man.
No, you got
I'm
choice.
a champion. I'm a champion.
Miss Edie, couple things I want to answer before I get off here. Jarrell asked me the name of that book. I gotta go back and pull that back up. It's
Life and Legacy of Traci Powell.
That's that one, but it's another one that was about I gave it to y'all earlier. I'm trying to remember the name of it because it's in my library. I gotta find it. It was algorithms that we live by or something like that. Algorithms to Live By. And it's written by Brian Christian and Tom Griffith. The audio book, The Life and Legacy of H. Rap Brown. Yes, Miss Edie, that is absolutely it. I listened to that within like one shot. I listened to that joint and I was in the house like really emotional, angry. But it also gave me a lot of history. And I knew a lot of it, but it gave me more context to the history that I knew. So that's always a great thing to get context. I still have to say this, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. For those that are in the area and you are pulling up tomorrow, we will see you live in flesh tomorrow. Let's take a bunch of pictures. Let's have fun. Let's talk Black wealth. And
one point, Jim, not to step on you, but I do want to say this.
Yes.
We talked about this today, about how we don't take enough pictures, about people said they was go out with Tracy. I think you told the story.
Yeah.
Go out with Tracy, but they didn't take pictures. I know I take a lot of pictures. I'm really going to start taking more now.
Yeah.
We definitely got to take advantage of this.
I don't take any pictures, but I'm about to start.
Like, yep. We got to take advantage of this. And
I'm in all the pictures, but I haven't taken one.
But I encourage everybody in the audience also start taking pictures with your folks, because there's nothing like pulling up a picture when a loved one is gone or something's going on, because those memories last forever. So keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that in mind, y'all. So until the next time, we will be back.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.
Later.
Peace.